Tees Radio.
It's 6 o'clock, I'm Barry Caffrey. The headlines: apology from Bedford Hospital over poor treatment of elderly man. MK councillors trying to agree new budget. And appeal for man beaten unconscious in Dunstable.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bedford Hospital has apologised unreservedly for the distress caused to the family of an elderly man who died there. 82-year-old Edward McCavery passed away in October last year, but his body wasn't properly prepared before the family saw him. His daughter Donna said it was very distressing.
He was sat up, his body was sort of slumped to one side, his face was all contorted, his dentures were hanging out of his mouth, his eyes were open. That's the last memory that we've got with our father. It was literally like something out of a horror movie.
Finance ministers from the economies that use the euro will meet in Brussels again to try to reach a deal on Greece. Today's meeting is the third this week. Athens wants a 6-month extension to a loan agreement that expires at the end of February, but with no strings attached. Party leaders on Milton Keynes Council meet this morning to try to agree a budget. The plans by the Labour administration for £22 million of cuts were rejected by the Conservatives and Liberal Democrats on Wednesday night. Councillor Edith Bold, the Tory group leader, is confident they won't need the government to step in.
There is a process, a sort of an emergency process for councils who are unable to set a budget, and a minister from government sort of intervenes and a budget is set, but I don't expect it to come to that.
A government planning inspector has told Central Bedfordshire Council to cooperate with neighbouring Luton on a development strategy for new homes. It's the latest stage of an ongoing row over whether thousands of houses for people from Luton should be built in Central Beds. Central Beds councillor Nigel Young says they are considering a legal challenge, whilst Luton councillor Shan Timoney says they've always been ready to work together.
We simply do want to work with Luton to help them to resolve their housing problem. The inspector's wrong. It's not a duty to agree.
The key to all this is the fact that Central Beds point blank refused to consider any growth to the west of Luton.
Police are appealing for witnesses after a man was beaten unconscious in Dunstable in the early hours of last Friday morning. He was attacked by a group of 12 men in the Woodside Industrial Estate on Ayncourt Road. Bedfordshire Police say it was a particularly horrible and completely unprovoked attack. The RAC Foundation has claimed that motorists who were given parking tickets on private land may be in line for compensation worth tens of millions of pounds. Research for the RAC says the penalties are unenforceable, extravagant and out of proportion to any losses suffered. In one case highlighted by the foundation, a mother from High Wycombe was forced to pay £100 even though the reason she ran over time was that she was attending to her upset 3-year-old son. In cricket, England's cricketers have suffered a second damaging defeat at the World Cup. They were bowled out by New Zealand for just 123 runs this morning, with Tim Southee taking 7 wickets for 33. The weather forecast today will be a bright and mainly dry day with spells of hazy sunshine. It will feel chilly with highs of 7 Celsius. Get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Morning.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
I just can't be bothered to talk. Let's have some of this. People try to put us down just because we say good awful. Die before I get old. My generation. Don't you all feel don't try to dig what trying to cause talking about my generation.
Is it about a gap year?
It's like killing a bee with a bazooka.
I'll be going raving mad.
Sorry, I thought I was going to vomit for a second.
Oh, wait!
Yes, get in there! Get in there! The Who! You're listening to The Who live in 1982. Let's go on to track 2. I'm tempted, but I'm tempted, Kelly.
Oh, man,
It's a good record.
I was literally writing that up for the track list then. Nice air drumming.
Well, the thing is, it's Kenny Jones on the drums, so you can air drum him easy. It's like...
Not doing the right drum face.
What's drum face then? That's not drum face.
Yeah, it is.
I'm tempted, but I won't. I won't, guys, but I'm tempted. Just know that there was a part of me that 5 years ago would have just played that whole album. Now I'm an old man with a mortgage working for the BBC. You all right, Kels?
Yes, mate, are you?
Got a little bit of coffee indigestion-y, but I think I'll survive. Catherine?
Yes.
Yeah?
I haven't, no.
OK, well, we'll crack on with the show, shall we?
Doesn't Kath look clean?
I am clean. I've had a shower.
I had a shower
I
this
noticed
morning.
that you both look clean.
I had a shower
I have a shower every morning.
A bit fluffy-haired, more fluffy-haired than normal.
I've got no pomade on mine.
I've got stuff on mine for a change.
Oh, I mean, they're both equally great.
Anyway, listen,
I've
I'm
got more skin on display. That might be
That's
why
what
I look
it is.
clean.
Ladies,
Fresh, clean skin.
Ladies, I'm going to crack on with the show.
Okay.
Thank you very much indeed. 08459 455 555.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, health bosses have apologised for the unacceptable treatment of an elderly man who died at Bedford Hospital. 82-year-old Edward McCavery passed away in October last year after being admitted with pneumonia and renal failure following a fall. Well, his family say staff failed to tell them how sick their father was, and on arrival at the hospital were told they may be too late as, quotes, his body may be in a bag. Wowzers. Catherine's been looking into this. Catherine, tell us more about why Edward was admitted to Bedford Hospital.
Well, we've been speaking to Edward's daughter, Donna, and she says that her 82-year-old father was taken to hospital. He'd had a fall at home, and the hospital's records show that he was admitted via A&E with pneumonia and renal failure. That happened on the 1st of October last year. He was then moved to the Reginald Heart ward and was cared for by the elderly team. He was reviewed on the 6th of October when one of the junior doctors discussed a treatment plan with Edward's son, Mark. Now, Mark at this point was advised that his dad was very poorly and he would be kept informed of any changes. Edward then died on the 9th of October.
Right, so that's what the hospital say, but the family kind of contradict that. They're saying they weren't told just how sick Edward was.
Well, this is it. According to Donna, the family asked several members of the staff, the ward staff, on a daily basis about how sick their dad was, but they got no straight answers. In the days leading up to Edward's death, his son Mark said he asked to speak to a doctor. He was kept waiting for 2 hours. The doctor eventually came but had difficulty getting his father's records up on the computer. Mark says he specifically asked the question of how poorly his father was, as if things were not looking good. He needed to get in touch with Edward's other relatives who lived abroad. Now, according to the family, Mark didn't get that answer, didn't get a satisfactory answer. And Donna says that it meant the family weren't properly prepared for their father's death.
He was at end of life, then we wanted to have them over to have their opportunity to say goodbye, and we wanted to get Dad home to spend his last days in comfort. But at no time did the hospital answer our questions about how sick he was. We asked repeatedly, we asked on a daily basis, how ill was he? And the hospital just did not answer the questions. They just wouldn't be held accountable for how poorly he was. So when we got the phone call on the morning that he died, it came as a complete shock to us. We knew he was very poorly, but we certainly hadn't been prepared exactly how poorly he was.
Now, one of Donna's criticisms is she says the hospital could have handled her father's end-of-life care better.
Yeah, Donna's brother Mark received a phone call on the 9th of October to say that his father had passed away, and the family at that point, rushed to the hospital. They were told to go to Rose Cottage, which they later found out is the name they give to the mortuary.
Oh, blimey.
When the family went to the mortuary, the attendant there said there was no record of Edward being there. They were eventually sent to the ward where, they say, a nurse in a burgundy uniform recognised them and said, "Oh, you may be too late. He may already be in the bag."
Flippin' heck.
Donna said her father wasn't taken to a side room. He was left on the ward for 7 hours with other patients.
We pulled the curtain around, couldn't have been prepared for what we saw. He was sat up, his body was sort of slumped to one side, his face was all contorted, his dentures were hanging out of his mouth, his eyes were open. It was something that no child should ever have to see their parent looking like that, and unfortunately that's the last memory that we've got with our father. We were not able to stay and say our goodbyes to him.
Donna says that this is to compound the family's misery. The hospital lost their father's possessions as well, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
And Donna says this is in contrast to how her mum was treated at another hospital in the three counties where she was looked after much better.
Yeah, Donna was telling us about her mum who suffered a stroke in 2012 and was admitted to the Lister Hospital in Stevenage, where she says as soon as she was approaching the end of her life, doctors moved her to a side room.
As soon as they knew she was approaching end of life, they moved her straight away to a side room so that family could come and say their goodbyes, and she could spend her last hours in peace and with dignity. And when she did pass, the staff were fantastic. They couldn't have been kinder. They offered us tea. They said we could sit with her for as long as we needed. They explained what had happened and what the next stages were, but we didn't need to rush. We could take our time. It was a completely different experience. We certainly wasn't prepared for the experience we had at Bedford.
And what have the hospital said in response, Catherine?
Well, in a letter to the family, and this is from the Director of Nursing and Patient Services, Nina Fraser, there's an apology. She says what happened to Mr McAvery was unacceptable. Miss Fraser says they usually have side rooms for end-of-life care, but one wasn't available in this case, and the ward was having some renovation work at the time of Edward's death. His body should have been properly prepared and ready for the family to pay their last respects, she says. She also says the matter's been discussed with the team and more training about end-of-life care has been made available to staff. They've also apologised for losing Donna's father's belongings, and the matter has been reported to the police.
Thank you, Catherine. 08459 455 555. Don't forget, all the music today is coming from Records.
Time was drifting, this rocket got to roll. So I hit the road and made my getaway. Restless feeling really got a hold. I started searching for a better way. And I kept on looking for a sign in the middle of the night, but I couldn't see the light. No, I couldn't see the light. Couldn't get it right.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Catherine's here. Morning, Catherine.
Yeah, morning.
Kelly Betts is there.
Morning.
Hey, and you could be here between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. It's the last time we're doing it, kids.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 northbound, there's a lane closed just after junction 12 for Flitwick because the lorry's broken down. And on the M25 clockwise, there's a lane closed just after junction 27 for the M11 because of the road surface being in a bad condition and pothole repairs. In High Wycombe, the A40 West Wycombe Road has been closed in both directions between Oak Ridge Road and Desborough Park Road. That's because of a building fire last night. And in Standon, on the A120 Stortford Road, there's roadworks going on at the turning for the High Street, so expect delays there later on. But it's looking fine at the moment and no reports of any delays on the trains. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 6:17. It's Friday the 20th of February. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Bedford Hospital has apologised unreservedly for the distress caused to the family of an elderly man who died there. And party leaders on Milton Keynes Council meet this morning to try to agree a budget.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Three Counties Sport isn't just about hearing your team in action.
Come to Vitra! It's 4! Tom Penn into the top right-hand corner.
It's about the managers.
It always seems that the closer we get to the top, decisions start to go against us.
The players.
You never get an easy game in the Championship, home or away, usually, and it'll be no different this weekend. And no, we're pretty confident at the moment.
And the fans.
Two teams there who deserve to be in the top three, who deserve to go up as well at the same time.
Every day, we bring you latest news on your local team.
In League Two, Luton lost their appeal against skipper Steve McNulty's red card on Tuesday, so he starts a 4-match ban.
Three Counties Sport, keeping you up to date with Luton, Watford, MK Dons, Stevenage and Wickham every day of the week on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, whatever, because life, Catherine, as we know it, has just changed forever.
Why?
Forget sports. Sports people, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Lazy people, we win.
Oh, I know why.
Oh, man alive.
The King.
Things just got sexy. The King comes to your door.
Bearing burgers.
Pizza and curry have a new rival if you fancy a fast food feast, but don't feel like nipping out to collect it. For the next 3 months, those keen on having a Whopper and fries delivered can enter their postcode on a special website. Burger King will deliver to you.
I bet they won't deliver to me.
Well, let's find out. Let's find the Burger King delivery website.
It will only deliver to places where you might as well just walk down there yourself.
Let's be honest, it's going to deliver to poor parts of the country, isn't it?
Well, and
isn't it?
Also, is there anything sadder than a lukewarm burger?
Oh, mate, listen, you haven't got a clue. I don't live in. This is America. I don't live in Alabama. Are they doing it in the UK?
They already do it in America.
Well, where's the UK? Oh, this is going to be...
Imagine, this is what's going to be happening in houses all over the country from 11 o'clock tonight when people start getting peckish.
What's the website? Come on, guys.
Some serious questions.
Please do, Kelly, and I'm happy to answer any question I can.
I need to know if it's 24 hours.
OK, yep.
I need to work out where my nearest Burger King is.
And will they deliver...
how long it takes to get to me.
And will they deliver Rizzlers as well?
Because I don't want to wait half an hour. It needs to be now.
You can get a beer in America.
Hey, listen, if they're doing it now, breakfast is on me, guys. I swear to God.
I really want a takeaway breakfast service where you can just order a fried breakfast.
Well,
and
this is what this is.
Where are those hipsters, right? You know the hipsters that do things like cornflake cafes and stuff?
Oh, those plums, yeah.
They ought to start doing, bacon butty runs.
I tell you what we'll do.
See, I thought I was going to do this and it's going to be called Bet's Eggs.
Nice.
Oh, right, OK, look, we'll play a song. I'll find the website and we'll find out whether... What?
Bet's Eggs.
They'll deliver. It's exciting, huh? Oh.
We'll make them turn their heads.
comes. Hey, listen to that. That's Phil Spector. That's pure Spector. Now, Amanda Steele, who is she and why is she so important to us?
Amanda Steele is someone we were recommended to speak to by one of our listeners on Twitter.
This is one of these things. This is one of the things where the internet may actually prove a positive thing. Started off as a tiny seed, and ever so slowly it's growing. It's growing. What's her story? What happened to her?
Her name is Amanda Steele.
Yes, we've established that.
She is living in London.
Why are you speaking like a robot?
Because I'm looking at what she's writing on there.
Well, I can...
Yeah, but I'm looking at what Kelly's writing.
Oh,
She's finding it amusing.
Come on, Kelly, this is a serious story.
Her name's Amanda Steele.
Yeah?
Amanda Steele.
What does that mean?
Like Amanda Steele.
Wow.
Have you got a man to steal? Yeah, I got one over here.
Can't steal a human being.
What on earth is she on about? I hope Burger King don't deliver those Rizzlers.
No. So 17 years ago, Amanda Steele was sleeping rough on the streets of London.
Yeah.
Along comes a 30-something couple who say, hey, you can come and stay with us and get back on your feet.
Sounds weird, doesn't it?
So far, so dodgy.
Yeah.
They weren't dodgy. She stayed with them for 3 weeks. 3 or 4 weeks, she's not quite sure. She was in a bit of a bad...
She was 16, she was very
run
upset,
away.
very confused, confused young girl, 17 years ago.
Yeah, so it's all a bit misty.
Somewhere in Abbots Langley.
She was staying in Abbots Langley. All of a sudden, she was out one day and she got picked up by the police and sent home.
Yeah.
This is in the days before Facebook, before mobile phones. Well, was it before mobile phones? Anyway, it was more difficult.
Yeah.
And, she wasn't in the right headspace. She went home and never said thank you. And it's something she's always regretted, she said, because they had a huge impact on her life.
Yeah.
So that's how we found ourselves picking her up from the station last week.
We took her to Abbots Langley to have a wander around bits that she remembered to see if we could find possibly the house where she'd spent 3 weeks, and we were going to knock on the door and see if anybody was there and... whatever. Well, this is what happened. Amanda, nice to meet you. Just remind us, I know it's quite an involved story, but just give us kind of a summarised version, if you can, of your story and your situation.
Well, I wound up homeless in London and I was sleeping on the streets outside the Piccadilly Theatre near Leicester Square, and I was there for a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, and one night a couple walked past and started talking to me, and when they realised I wasn't a crazed drug addict or some complete nut job, well, but
that's still debatable. But the crazed drug addict, we're clear on, yeah.
And I wasn't drunk. They could see it was just bad luck rather than raving criminal minds, and they offered to put me up and asked me if I wanted to come and stay with them while I got back on my feet, and I was blown away, really. And they did let me stay there, and I think I was there for about 3 or 4 weeks, and they were just wonderful. They helped me, they fed me, they kept me, let me have run of the flat so I could bathe and wash my clothes and use the computers to make them see me.
That's incredibly trusting of them to do that, isn't it?
Yes. Even now I can't quite believe how kind they were.
So we're in St Albans. You've just come up. You live in London now.
Yes.
We've just met you from St Albans. Where are we heading to and why?
We're going to Abbots Langley because that's the last place I know they lived. Well, that's where they let me stay. I mean, I don't know if they're still going to be there. I mean, part of me thinks that they may not be anymore.
How long ago was it?
17 years.
17 years, and they were sort of in their early 30s?
Yeah.
So there's a strong chance they've moved on.
Yeah.
You can't... This is the thing some people found out. You couldn't remember the name, could you?
No.
You don't remember the street, but you remember some bits and pieces.
Yeah, I looked at Google Maps because I remember going to, because there was like a doctor's and a shop, so I looked on Google Maps. I found Balmoral Road.
Well, listen, we're driving along. Kath is driving. Excellent driving so far, Kath.
Yes, thank you.
You've got to say that, otherwise she'll go nuts. Listen, let's just keep looking. If you see anything you recognise, then shout.
I will.
Okay.
Have a look on Facebook. We've got a video on there, and we're also sharing it on Twitter, aren't we, via the YouTube application.
Yes, facebook.com/BBC3CR. It's also on Iain Lee, Facebook.com/Iain Lee.
Please share it, because all it takes is one person.
All it needs is one person to go, oh, I remember my mum and dad talking about that girl, or that's me, or wasn't that next door to us? Didn't the next door couple take young straight? That's all we need is one person
This
to see
couple must have wondered what happened to her, and it must have come up in conversation with their friends.
Wouldn't it be great if, keep listening, we'll play more from Amanda later on, and you'll see just how close or otherwise we get. But wouldn't it be great if we could reunite them at some point? I say great because, well, we'd get an award. But almost as importantly, it would be good for all of them.
We've all had moments in our lives where we thought, I should have told them at that point how much what they'd done meant to me.
Yeah.
Well, she's got a chance to do that, but you can help her.
08, if it rings a bell, faint or otherwise, 08459 455 555, and we'll speak to Amanda later on in the show.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 northbound, there's a lorry broken down just after junction 12 for Flitwick, which has closed one lane. It's starting to look a little bit slow on the approach. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's getting busier around junction 19 for Watford, and also clockwise just after junction 27 for the M11. There's a lane closed for emergency repairs. In High Wycombe on West Wycombe Road, that's closed in both directions between Oak Ridge Road and Desborough Park Road because of a building fire at a flat last night. And in Neaston on the North Circular Road, it's partially blocked by a 4-vehicle accident between the M1 Staples Corner flyover and the Neaston Interchange. There's queues building up from Golders Green Road. Samantha Burr, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30 with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. Health bosses have apologised for the unacceptable treatment of an elderly man who died at Bedford Hospital. 82-year-old Edward McCavery passed away in October last year after being admitted with pneumonia and renal failure following a fall. The leaders of Greece and Germany have held talks in an attempt to resolve the deadlock over the Greek bailout crisis ahead of today's meeting of EU ministers. Berlin rejected an appeal by Athens for an extension to their loan agreement. Party leaders on Milton Keynes Council meet this morning to try to agree a budget. The plans by the Labour administration for £22 million of cuts were rejected by the Conservatives and Liberal Democrats on Wednesday night. The RAC Foundation says drivers could have been illegally charged millions of pounds in penalties for parking on private land. The barrister, John DeWall, says the penalties could be unenforceable in some cases. And the weather forecast, mainly dry today with spells of hazy sunshine, but it will feel chilly with highs of 7 Celsius. That's 45 in Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England's cricketers have suffered a second damaging defeat at the World Cup. They were bowled out by New Zealand for just 123 runs this morning, with Tim Southee taking 7 wickets for 33. New Zealand then needed just 74 balls to wrap up an 8-wicket win, with their captain Brendan McCullum scoring the fastest World Cup 50. Captain Owen Morgan regrets batting first.
Winning the toss in what I thought was batter-friendly conditions was pretty hard to take after about 15 overs, given the ball swung for so long and the fact that New Zealand took early wickets and continued to build pressure throughout. We sort of got a partnership going in the middle, but then again when they took a half a chance in the wicket getting me out, the ball continued to swing, which is again unexpected, and with the expectation of us trying to get 260, 270 was quite difficult.
Liverpool have a slim advantage going into the second leg of their Europa League last 32 tie against Besiktas after a 1-0 win at Anfield. Ian Brown was watching.
Liverpool will be on familiar terrain for the second leg next week, the Ataturk Olympic Stadium, where they won the Champions League 10 years ago. They'll go there with a lead thanks to a substitute by the name of Mario Balotelli, though nothing is straightforward with him. He seemed to win an argument with Jordan Henderson in order to take the 85th minute penalty, which won the game. It followed a foul on Jordan Ibe. Liverpool were just about on top in an intense game of few clear chances. Goalkeeper Mignolet deserving of a mention for his first half save to deny Demba Ba.
Elsewhere in the Europa League, John Guidetti scored an added time equaliser as Celtic came from 2-0 down to draw 3-3 with Inter Milan. Tottenham and Fiorentina drew 1-1. Romelu Lukaku scored a hat-trick as Everton had a 4-1 win over Young Boys of Switzerland. That was despite losing John Stones to a red card with half an hour to play. And Tiger Woods' indefinite break from golf will take in next week's PGA Tour Honda Classic. The 39-year-old said last week that he was taking time out from the sport in order to work on his game after another injury scare and poor form, but hoped to play at Palm Beach. BBC Three Counties Radio News and Sport. I'm back with a full bulletin at 7 o'clock.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
What you got? Oh, by the way, the morning, Iain Lee, Kelly Betts is in there, Catherine Bowles with me. We'll speak to Dealey later on, and we're just going to kind of chill and look at the newspapers.
Well, this is an interesting bit, right? You know, we're going to see...
Chillax.
I don't think anyone noticed.
What other words are there that are two words put together to make a made-up word? So we've got chillax, chill and relax. We've got what, sorry? What did you say, Kelly?
Oh, no, she said something we can't repeat.
Weak
again.
ankles, OK, no. My favourite is guesstimate.
Yes.
It's between a guess and an estimate.
Isn't an estimate a guess?
No, an estimate isn't. An estimate is like a calculated guess.
There's an element of guess, though, isn't
there? Well, there is a calculation. A guess is just, I don't know, 6. An estimate is like, I reckon between 6 and 7.
And a guesstimate is?
I don't know. What, 6?
12?
8? So, words that are put together, please. 08459 455 555. It's a phone number if you want to give us a call.
I'm finding this amusing in a kind of bittersweet way.
Hey!
Amanda Holden.
Yeah, Holdy.
On the 13th of February, says the Daily Mirror on page 2, right at the very bottom.
Yep.
On the 13th of February, published online and print articles which said that Amanda Holden had sent her eldest daughter to school in fancy dress as Julie Roberts from Pretty Woman. We acknowledge that the tone of the articles... Oh, what kind of tone? What on earth could they possibly have drawn from that?
Yes.
The tone of the articles, in particular the terms used to describe the fancy dress, and an online poll inviting opinions on the costume.
What the heck?
Guess what? They were inappropriate, guys.
Oh, man.
We apologise to Amanda for any distress caused, and as a goodwill gesture, we will make a donation to the Childline charity.
How much?
She pwned them. They're not saying.
How much?
They are not saying.
Scott sent me a new poster, by the way.
That's nice.
This
Have
is
you
great.
done something different with your face?
Here's one. Gas man in loo doo-doo.
Oh, no.
What? Stink as he lets self in to use WC. That means water closet, kids. That means toilet.
Mm-hmm.
A startled DIYer came home to find a gas man had let himself into his house to use his toilet.
Whoa.
Sam painting, and he's a DIYer.
He's done some painting.
He's done some painting. I want to do some painting. Well, that's you. No, I know. Why are you speaking like that? I hurt my mouth. I burnt it. OK. I'm speaking like that now. Sam Painting, 26, thought he'd been burgled when he found his front door open and footprints in the wet concrete he'd laid an hour before.
Oh.
After checking the ground floor... This is after I just watched Dead Men's... Was it Dead Man's Shoes? Dead Man's Shoes, where you want, every room I go into now, I'm checking there's someone in there, but knowing they're probably downstairs putting drugs in my kettle. That's a bleak film. Anyway.
You loved it, didn't you?
Oh, it was bleak, though. What's his name? Not Sheridan Smith. What's his name? Not Robert Morley. What's the guy's name?
Which guy?
The guy that directed Shea Meadows.
Yeah.
He needs to...
Needs a letter home to his mum and dad.
He just...
Very disturbing.
After checking the ground floor, he heard a noise upstairs. The amateur jockey...
Wow, why do we need to know this?
Said, I was a bit nervous to go up as I was unsure what or who was up there.
Sam Riding.
I went up the stairs and looked in the bathroom to be greeted by a man just rising from my toilet and pulling up his trousers. What? I can only imagine how a lady or elderly person would have felt. Well, you as a man and an amateur jockey. All men could only imagine what that feels like to be a lady or an elderly woman. Sam, who is doing up his house in Stow-on-the-Wold, Gloucestershire...
We know, you told us about the concrete.
Added, I was obviously very shocked.
What?
He said he was very embarrassed and sorry, but he come to read my meter and I got caught short. He quickly
Don't.
He quickly tried to change the subject and started to ask what lights I was fitting on my landing. He left shortly after, leaving a terrible smell.
Oh, dear.
Why are you doing my voice?
Sam, who says there is a public loo 50 yards from his front door, had just popped to the shops for an hour, leaving his doors closed but unlocked. Well, there's your first mistake. Who's been pooing on my toilet and they're still there? He complained to Npower, who apologised and offered him 25 quid.
Is that the cost of a...
I like that his feet are still in the concrete outside his house.
A spokeswoman said, "We've spoken to the meter reader, who has confirmed he was caught short and used the bathroom facilities.
You can't do that.
We're taking appropriate action with the meter reader as this behaviour is unacceptable." Oh,
no.
But where was he supposed to go? He's in a house. There's a toilet there.
He wasn't in the house. He let himself in. Oh. He's just reading the meter, Kelly.
He entered... No.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Let's just put Kelly's microphone down while she's
having one of those.
One of those. I think she's having hot flushes. What you got in the papes?
2 gay prisoners.
Oh, but these are very naughty men.
Well,
these are not just gay prisoners.
It is, but do they not deserve love like anyone else?
Well, one of them, I think, fiddled with kiddies and the other one murders gay people, so one of them should certainly be on the lookout.
One of the killers preparing for Britain's first time same-sex marriage in jail is serving life for battering a defenceless homosexual to death.
Yeah, he's going to marry another fella. I would suggest that the person he's marrying, as he's marrying, should keep eyes in the back of his head.
Mark Goodwin, 31, will tie the knot next month with psychopath Mikhail Galatinov, who's 40, who throttled his boyfriend.
Oh no, you can't laugh at this.
I'm not laughing.
I know, but I am.
This is a serious point.
I know.
The pair who met inside, of course they did, have been given permission
Don't.
to wed at Full Sutton Prison, East Yorks. You've got to allow them to.
Oh dear.
You've got to allow them to. The Justice Chiefs have said they will not share a cell afterwards. There'll be none of that. And the ceremony will not be funded by taxpayers.
This reminds me of this story. Heroin, 16 days up bum.
Wow. We're not talking about a leading female. We're talking about the drug.
Literally up this fella's bottom.
Right.
Cop wait for dealers. 2 dealers who wedged heroin and crack up their cracks. What? Made police wait 16 days before the drugs emerged. And here's the thing. Running up a £56,000 overtime bill.
What, they had to sit there and wait?
Of course they did! You need to go to the loo yet, son? No! Not yet! We've got all the time in the world. It's your time you're wasting, not mine.
They'd be doing their sick note voices, wouldn't they?
Joseph Aibam 1. I didn't know where that was going. Joseph Aibam 1.
Maybe that's how they got the idea to do it.
That's not how you pronounce it. Let's have a look.
That's how you pronounce it. Aibam 1.
Yeah, Aibam 1.
Sounds like the guy from the first story.
He sounds like Welsh.
And Eve Nutali Ikolo refused to eat and drink in custody or allow officers to carry out an intimate search. A round-the-clock surveillance operation was launched and police waited 9 days for one and 16 for the other to expel the drugs naturally.
Grief.
Aibam 1, who had 99 wraps of crack cocaine worth £1,800, was waddling like a duck.
I wonder where he's keeping it, Sarge.
Aibam 1? Yes. Catherine and I are sat here reminiscing about Vic Reeves. That must have been... Big night out must have been when I was 16.
Right, so that makes me 12.
Yeah. So how long ago was that? 25 years... 20... A quarter of a century ago. And do you know who used to phone up Channel 4 and complain about that? Actually genuinely complain about it, thinking it was offensive and was unfunny.
Who?
Matt Lucas.
Really?
He would phone up Channel 4 and say, this is I don't get it, this is disgusting. It's like a precocious child, which is what he was.
Well, he'd have been a bit younger than me. 11. Shouldn't be watching it, go to bed.
He was old. Matt Lucas is older than you.
He's not, is he?
Yeah, he's got to be... Well, I'd say he's got to be about my age.
You reckon?
He's got to be about 40.
My mate Tracy knows him. Well, she knows his gran. She knew his gran.
Great stories.
I'll ask Tracy.
Thanks very much indeed.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 northbound, there's still a lane closed after junction 12 for Flitwick because a lorry's broken down. Looking at the M25 anti-clockwise, it's slow around junction 19 for Watford, and clockwise there's still a lane closed after junction 27 for the M11 while pothole repairs are being carried out. In High Wycombe on West Wycombe Road, that's closed in both directions between Oak Ridge Road and Desborough Park Road because of a building fire. And in Neaston on the North Circular Road, there's been an accident between the M1 Staples Corner flyover and the Neaston interchange, so that's causing delays from the A1 at Henley's Corner. No reports of any major problems on the trains. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I hope we've not done the curse like we did with Taiwan, Dozy, and there was another, and Paris. Flippin' heck. 6:46, it is Friday the 20th of February. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Bedford Hospital has apologised for the unacceptable treatment of an elderly man who died there. His body wasn't properly prepared before his family saw him. And police are appealing for witnesses after a man was beaten unconscious in Dunstable in the early hours of last Friday morning. Let's get the weather. Here's Wendy.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It might be a little bit wet underfoot, but at the moment we're having dry conditions for the rush hour this morning. We've still got a bit of cloud hanging around, but there's a good chance across much of the three counties that we'll see that clearing for some sunny spells at times, and that's most likely the further north you go. Now, we've had a right old headache forecasting a low pressure system that runs itself along the south coast, and that's crucial for us because it is going to have some rain associated with it, and we're still not entirely sure exactly how far north that is going to get. So it could be that the closer you are to London today, the more likely you are to see a little bit of rain pushing up from the south. But it may stay where it is at the moment, which is well away from us. We don't have to worry about it. Anyway, we've got light winds, we've got temperatures that will get up to 7 or 8 degrees. And then as we go through the night, clear at first, but we will have some showers in the early hours of the morning. And up over the Chilterns, there's a possibility they will turn sleety. A bit of wet snow may fall from some of those showers. It doesn't look like it's going to settle, but they'll have a cold wind behind them from the northwest, and temperatures will be falling to 2 or 3 degrees, so hence the wintry nature of them. So first thing tomorrow morning, looks like we will have a fine start to the weekend. It's going to be chilly, but there'll be some sunny spells on and off, with temperatures again about 7 degrees. Sunday too, after a cold night of Saturday, is going to be a nippy start. It will be bright perhaps to begin with, but it will cloud over pretty quickly, and then there's more rain for Sunday afternoon, and we begin a pretty blustery spell of weather as well.
If you've missed any of the programmes here on BBC Three Counties Radio, you've missed things like this.
Do we really need public libraries anymore? Tell us what you think this morning.
Get behind your local station and help crack these clues. Let's see who can find the treasure first.
But there is a way you can hear it all again.
What a show today. We go back to the 70s for our chart rundown.
So when did you start making music?
About 2 years ago, I started recording on my brother's 8-track.
bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
You held a service in a vodka bar this week, is that right?
The OJ's Extraordinary Girl. Isn't that a terrific sound? Completing the menu today, a lovely cocoa vin and rhubarb and custard on toast topped with a meringue.
I don't want anyone messing with my brain. They don't understand how it works.
Last year, the IPCC dropped an investigation into your conduct.
Black and minority students must get better results than their white peers in order to get into university.
bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
Someone on the text says, I know a meter man leaves a card when you're not in, but never a poo. Thanks very much. You got any more stores?
Yes.
Go on.
An AA man temporarily fixed a farm's 1960s Land Rover using a potato.
Hey, Mr. Potato Head.
No, Mario Papadimitriou, 59, had already failed to mend the condenser using tinfoil and silicone repair tape. He said, I'm not going to do the voice. There were a lot of vegetables around.
Can I do it? Well, what happened is this is going to happen. I know it's supposed to be Greek. I can't do the accent.
Yeah, there were a lot of vegetables around, so I thought I'd try wiring up a potato with a couple of screws. It started instantly. What? Mario of Chingford, Essex, won an AA prize with the inventive repair. Boss, no, this isn't a real man's name.
Go on. Let's have it. We've had. What was it? I'm a bum one or something. I bum one. That was it. Well, you can't beat I bum one.
Boss, Donald McSporran. That's made up.
That is made up.
Said the idea was definitely a chip above the others, thinking outside the box.
Wowzers.
Donald, where's your tatties?
So what's the other guy's name? Dimitriou?
Papadimitriou.
Please, if I met him, do you know what I'd say?
Pleased to meet you, Papadimitriou.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd save time. I'd go, please, Dimitriou. You like that?
That is excellent.
Justin?
Hey, boss.
You
You're
like
on top
that?
form this morning.
Please, Dimitriou. Now, can someone explain it to Catherine? Because she's giving me the blank look.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you the... OK.
I can be racist towards the Greeks. My wife is half of them.
You can get away with it, exactly.
I can get away with it.
Position to be in.
Please, Dimitriou. What are they going to do? They ain't got no money, so they can't sue me.
This guy might. He's from Essex.
Whoa, Justin.
Hey, boss.
Some great tunes today.
Yeah, really enjoying them, actually. Dizzy, haven't heard that one for a very, very long time.
What are your musical memories?
My musical memories of that...
no, just in general.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you my musical memories around that song. I seem to remember that one coming out around the same time as U2, The Fly.
Oh, The Fly.
Yeah, do you remember that one?
The video where it's going through his legs, isn't it?
Yeah, dreadful stuff. But my memories around that time.
So hang on, your musical memory of Dizzy is another song.
Yes, because... hang on, because
That's rubbish.
Seem to remember, I think... It was the Scorpions' Wind of Change.
It's another song!
It's a vague musical memory.
Down to Gonky Pong.
It was #1 for weeks, and U2 The Fly came along to knock it off the top slot. It was around that time.
With the winds of change. So your musical memory of one song is another song, and then your musical memory of that song is another song. Have you got any memories that don't involve music?
I'm giving you
or
a
selfies.
Top 10 UK chart memory.
Tans.
Yes. All right, it's a good memory.
Down to Gonky Pong with the winds of change. Kelly's got a message for you.
Yeah.
Are you going to see the clown today?
Am I going to see the clown? What sort of message is that?
You know.
No, you've got to make it better than that. Are you going to see the clown today? Come on.
She's hungry.
She's hungry.
For the clown.
For the clown's
are you not? Hi, J-Dog. Good morning.
Wow.
Love the trench coat this morning. Are you going to get us breakfast? I'm really hungry.
Hey,
We're very grateful.
Good morning.
We
Love
can discuss,
the trench coat.
guys. We can
Shame
discuss
there's nothing
breakfast later. We've got a lot of business to get on. First of all, the T-shirts have arrived for Justin Dealey's 50 Shades of Mayhem.
Yes.
To give us the venue, the time, what's happening, Justin? Where are we all meeting? Where is Dave Luton and Dennis from Dunstable? Where do they have to go?
This weekend, this Sunday, the Empire Cinema in Luton, 5:40.
Yeah.
We're going to be there in the Galaxy Centre, and we're going to watch 50 Shades of Grey with Dave Luton, as you say, the D-Dog, Dennis in Dunstable, Matty Bum Bum. We've heard lots of reviews in the last week from women talking about this film. No, we are taking a group of old men to watch this film.
Listener Laura's coming. Not you, Catherine.
It's going to be great fun.
You're not welcome.
Is it true that other people have been trying to get in on the T-shirt action?
True.
Yeah.
So you can just buy one and put your own name on the back.
Scott Balcony will sort you out. Now listen, Justin, so that's that. Blur.
So I could just buy one and, like, turn up.
You can't turn up, mate. Blur are back together. I was never I was more Blur than Oasis. But it's big news. Blur are back together. They're doing some shows probably. They've got a new album coming out. Is anyone bothered?
Well, I got the call just after 6:30, so I rushed out onto the streets and I've been asking people that very question, Ian.
Yeah.
Here's what people had to say. Madam, what's your name?
Karen.
Karen, you look very street. Do you mind me saying that?
No, I don't.
It's a compliment.
Thank you.
Okay, now I think you must be a music fan based on your appearance. Are you bothered by Blur?
No. No. I think they should get back together.
So you are bothered by Blur then?
A little bit, maybe, yeah.
What was your favourite Blur song?
Part Life.
Give us 10 seconds, go on.
No, I can't know.
All the people.
So many people. And they all go hand in hand through their Park Life.
Woo! Thank you very much. You are definitely bothered by Blur. Have a good weekend.
Cheers, bruv.
Let's get the Netherlands perspective. Are you bothered by Blur?
Who's Blur?
What do you mean, who's Blur?
I don't know who's Blur.
You're mugging me off.
No, serious.
You know, the legendary 1990s group.
No, I don't know. Not really.
Thanks. Are you bothered by Blur?
No. No. No, I'm not, mate.
Thank you. Morning, boss. Nice taxi. Nice and clean. Looks like a safe and secure ride. Are you bothered by Blur?
Sorry?
Are you bothered by Blur?
What's that mean?
Yeah, the 1990s group.
I don't know anything about that.
Baby, I'm yours. Baby, I'm yours. And I'll be yours until the stars fall from the sky. Yours until the rivers all run dry. In other words, until I die. Baby, I'm yours. Baby, I'm yours. And I'll be yours until the sun no longer shines. Yours until the poets run out of rhyme. In other words, until the end of time. I'm gonna stay right there by your side. Do my best to keep you satisfied. Nothing in the world can drive me away. Every day you hear me say, baby, I'm yours. Baby, I'm yours. And I'll be yours until 2 and 2 is 3. Yours until the mountains crumble to the sea. In other words, until eternity. Baby, I'm yours. Baby, I'm yours. Till the stars fall from the sky. Baby, I'm yours. Till the rivers all run dry. Baby, I'm yours.
So 7:30, it's the last of the regular open door policies.
What, you reckon we might do a Christmas special or something?
We'll do specials, and we're doing something over Easter. We're doing a show over Easter, so we might do it over Easter. I don't know, but it will happen again at some point. But this is the last of the weekly open door policies.
Yeah, so everyone who said, I'm going to turn up at some point, make it today.
Today is the day.
Now or never.
It's now or never.
The time
sorry.
is now.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you were going to go off on a little tangent there.
No.
Okay.
I thought you were going to sing the whole song. If you want to turn up, we're at 1 Hastings Street, Luton, LU15XL.
I've got really bad coffee indigestion.
I know. Why do you keep drinking it then?
Because I just love that stuff so much.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A40 West Wickham Road in High Wycombe has just reopened between Oak Ridge Road and Desborough Park Road after the building fire. In Neaston on the North Circular Road, there are long queues from the A1 at Henley's Corner towards the Neaston interchange because of an accident. And the M25 anti-clockwise is looking very slow round junction 19 for Watford. Clockwise on the M25 at junction 27 for the M11, there are emergency repairs going on, so there's a lane closed. Expect delays if you're heading that way later on today. And on the M1 northbound, all the lanes have reopened just after junction 12 for Flitwick, where a lorry broke down earlier. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock, I'm Barry Caffrey. The headlines: apology from Bedford Hospital over poor treatment of elderly man. MK councillors try to agree new budget, and appeal for man beaten unconscious in Dunstable this day last week.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bedford Hospital has apologised unreservedly for the distress caused to the family of an elderly man who died there. 82-year-old Edward McCavery passed away in October last year, but his body wasn't properly prepared before the family saw him. His daughter Donna said it was very distressing.
He was sat up, his body was sort of slumped to one side, his face was all contorted, his dentures were hanging out of his mouth, his eyes were open. That's the last memory that we've got with our father. It was literally like something out of a horror movie.
Finance ministers from the Eurozone are due to meet in their latest attempt to resolve Greece's bailout crisis. Last night, the leaders of Germany and Greece spoke by phone after Berlin rejected Athens' appeal for the current loan agreement to be extended. Party leaders on Milton Keynes Council meet this morning to try to agree a budget. The plans by the Labour administration for £22 million of cuts were rejected by the Conservatives and Liberal Democrats on Wednesday night. Councillor Edith Bold, the Tory group leader, is confident they won't need the government to step in.
There is a process, a sort of an emergency process for councils who are unable to set a budget, and a minister from government sort of intervenes and a budget is set, but I don't expect it to come to that.
A government planning inspector has told Central Bedfordshire Council to cooperate with neighbouring Luton on a development strategy for new homes. It's the latest stage of an ongoing row over whether thousands of houses for people from Luton should be built in Central Beds. Central Beds councillor Nigel Young says they are considering a legal challenge, whilst Luton councillor Shan Timoney says they have always been ready to work together.
We simply do want to work with Luton to help them to resolve their housing problem. The inspector's wrong. It's not a duty to agree.
The key to all this is the fact that Central Beds point blank refused to consider any growth to the west of Luton.
Police are appealing for witnesses after a man was beaten unconscious in Dunstable in the early hours of last Friday morning. He was attacked by a group of 12 men in the Woodside Industrial Estate on Encourt Road. Bedfordshire police say it was a particularly horrible and completely unprovoked attack. The RAC Foundation has claimed that motorists who were given parking tickets on private land may be in line for compensation worth tens of millions of pounds. Research for the RAC says the penalties are unenforceable, extravagant and out of proportion to any losses suffered. In one case highlighted by the Foundation, a mother from High Wycombe was forced to pay £100, even though the reason she ran over time was that she was attending to her upset 3-year-old son. Cricket now, and England have been thrashed by New Zealand in their second World Cup match in Wellington. They were bowled out for just 123 in 33 overs. New Zealand raced to an 8-wicket victory, making 125 in 12 overs. Their captain, Brendan McCullum, made the fastest World Cup half-century. The BBC's cricket correspondent, Jonathan Agnew, who was watching the match, was appalled.
A really dismal performance by England, possibly the most one-sided one-day match ever. Well, perhaps you can decide that amongst yourselves as well, but I can't think of one at the moment.
And the weather forecast today will be a bright and mainly dry day with spells of hazy sunshine, but it will feel chilly. Winds will be light, highs of 7 Celsius, that's 45 in Fahrenheit. BBC Three Counties Radio News. I'm back at 7:30 with headlines.
Sorry, Barry, I was just so excited at the thought of talking more that I snuck in there. Apologies, please don't take it as a snub. It's not a snub. It's not a snub, Catherine. I just like talking. Yeah, oh yeah, and singing. Well,
cut me off as well.
Yeah, I know, that was out of order. That was, I am apoplectic with apologies. Oh. What's on the show this morning?
Hospital apologies. Abbots Langley Runaways.
Aye.
And Justin Dealey, 50 Shades of Greys.
Well, we're going to... So we've sent Justin out on Blur.
Yeah.
What else? Hang on a second. Let me just...
Across what would you like to get delivered?
Bucks. This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
What have you fixed with a potato?
I don't get those potato clocks. I mean, seriously, what is that about?
Oh, you have to stick a wire in it?
Yeah, you can't power a clock with potato. That's just kids. Those things, they're nonsense.
Can't you make a battery out of a lemon?
No, you can't. You make batteries out of metal. No, out of batteries.
Lemon and wires.
No. You can't power things with fruit.
Yeah.
No, it's nonsense.
I powered a tiny bulb at school once.
Yeah, you can't. It's nonsense. It's science fiction.
Mad.
I tell you what I hate. You know our favourite film reviewer?
Yeah.
You know Sci-Fi?
Yeah.
He doesn't say sci-fi.
Sky-fi.
Yeah.
Does he?
He says sci-fi.
Does he say science?
There's a film reviewer on another BBC radio station who we listen to a lot because we think he's brilliant. And he says sci-fi instead of sci-fi.
That guy's crazy. Does he say conscience?
I don't know, but
That's where it comes from. Do you know that?
What?
Well, conscience.
No, sci-fi comes from science fiction.
Science is knowledge.
Yeah.
Conscience with science.
Oh, flipping out! You're so dull.
With knowledge.
God blimey! Bet you were popular going out to be. Hang on a second. Bet you were popular being asked out as a youngster.
Oh, I was.
Sorry. Okay. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Now, health bosses, excuse me. Health bosses have apologised for the unacceptable treatment of an elderly man who died at Bedford Hospital. 82-year-old Edward McCavery passed away in October last year after being admitted with pneumonia and renal failure following a fall. Well, his family, who we'll be speaking to later on in the show, say staff failed to tell them how sick their father was, and on arrival at the hospital were told they may be too late to see him as, quotes, his body may be in a bag, unquote.
Incredible, isn't it?
Flippin' heck. That's outrageous. Is it the daughter we're speaking to?
Yes,
a bit
it is,
later on.
yeah,
OK,
Donna.
so we'll get Donna's side of the story. Joined now by Iain Hansen, who set up the Cure the NHS in Bedfordshire. Morning, Iain.
Morning, Ian.
Tell me why you set this organisation up.
Well, to be honest, it was as a result of a personal family tragedy and 13 weeks of negligence at Bedford Hospital.
What happened? It was your mum, wasn't it?
It was, yes. She was rushed into hospital. She was found lying on the floor in her bungalow early in the morning, and she had a little knock on her head. So the ambulance crew were absolutely superb. They got her into the hospital there. She was in A&E for, I think, something like 6 or 7 hours. It was eventually decided that she should be taken into the Pilgrim ward, and then she went basically through 13 weeks of hell, and it resulted in her death through negligence, in my opinion.
Give us, if you can, a kind of a summary, a step-by-step of the failures, of the mistakes that were made at the hospital.
Well, sadly, I've heard it so many times since. It was the very basic things. It started off with forgetting to feed my mother. So it was a lack of food, lack of water. She became dehydrated very quickly. So naturally she became weak. She got a bed sore, which was neglected on many occasions. Medication wasn't administered. And it was a catalogue of errors, which I still, to this day, I think about it every day myself. So I really feel so sorry for this family, because I know exactly what they're going through. I live it every day. I cannot believe so many things happened to one frail elderly lady. And sadly, she went into hospital not because she had a terminal illness, but purely because she was suffering from malnutrition. She hadn't been eating properly.
Well, I'm assuming there was an investigation into this, yeah, and what were the conclusions of that?
Well, you would assume there would have been an investigation, but basically we had a meeting, and it took many, many months. This is so traumatic when something like this happens, because most of us know, we've experienced deaths in the family or close friends, and it's so upsetting, and we all deal with it differently. It took me many, many months to actually come to the conclusion that, what happened here is not normal, and they need the board, the hospital board, need to be challenged. So I arranged for a meeting. The meeting took a couple of hours, and it soon dawned on me that I wanted to work with the staff to make sure these things didn't happen to other people.
Yeah,
I thought that's the most common sense way to approach this. I told them right from the start, I'm not interested in the suing culture. I just want to make sure this doesn't happen to anybody else. The team that I felt that I was up against, rather than working with, they became very defensive, and it took a quarter of a year to have a written reply as a result of that meeting, and there were over 32 errors in, I think it was 3 to 4 pages of A4, and it totally turned around what actually took place at that meeting and the evidence I was given. And I soon realised, well, I can't work with these people because they're not being open and honest, and that's the only way to run any organisation.
Yeah, and did you get the feeling that they would prefer to have paid you off?
Well, we never ever discussed that, and I suppose from their point of view, they would rather it was swept under the mat and they could just carry on with these appalling standards.
It's kind of you mentioned the basics, and the basics of feeding an elderly person and making sure they get taken to the toilet, and if there are bed sores, well then you treat that immediately, because they can be treated. And if we believe the family of this gentleman here, it's basics again. I mean, going and a nurse saying, "Oh, you may be too late. He may already be in the bag." It just leaves you scratching your head, doesn't it?
Well, it does, but I could keep you on the phone for a couple of hours, telling you exactly the experiences I had. I kept a diary over the 13 weeks, and every now and then I go through it, and I've forgotten certain things, and I think, my God, I forgot about this. Basic things like I had a meeting with a consultant, and my mother was still alive. She was clinging on. And I said, look, my mother has basic human rights. And the reply to that was, oh, no, the law is different in the hospital system.
Oh.
And I spoke to a barrister afterwards, and he said, rubbish, human rights are human rights. These people seem to think, and I hate talking negatively about the NHS staff. There's majority of brilliant people. And it hurts me to actually have to challenge these people, but there are people in the system who are not fit for purpose. And to actually take that kind of an attitude when you are dealing with sick and vulnerable people, that basically they don't have the human rights of the rest of the nation, is quite appalling.
Yeah, what advice or suggestions would you give to the family of Mr. McCavery?
My experience, I went through the whole system, the complaint system. I went right up to the Ombudsman Service, which is so unfit for purpose, Iain, you would not believe. Do not just rely on them to do the correct thing, because unfortunately there seems to be a process whereby management, I'm not saying Bedford management are like this now, but they were in my experience, they tend to delay families, and eventually, sort of 85-90% of people, it grinds them down. It's so upsetting that they walk away. Well, I'm in the 10%, and I will carry on till the day I die to stop these appalling standards. So for the family, there's the Care Quality Commission. They've been very sort of toothless in the past, but they are adapting, to what's going on. So I would definitely contact the Care Quality Commission. The Trust Board, they need to be challenged, because this has been going on in my according to my information, for the last 6 years. They need to be challenged, and basically, if you are strong enough to carry on with this, then don't sit on your laurels.
Jan, I appreciate you sharing your story about your mum. Thank you. Jan Hansen, who set up Cure the NHS in Bedfordshire. 08459 455 555. Let's get a view from the left, shall we? It's Steve. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning, comrade. What have you got for us, brother?
I'll give you comrade.
I bet you would. Yeah, I bet you would.
Anyway, the NHS is obviously overworked and some people are undertrained, and also if we took half the foreign aid budget to reorganise and sort the NHS out, then it would work, wouldn't it? And also the mass immigration in this country, you know, they can't accept all these people coming to the country. They can't. The hospitals can't deal with it.
Well, no,
it's practical. It's numbers. It's
no,
basic
you're right.
numbers.
You're right, Steve. No, sorry, not right. Wrong. Because if we didn't have...
I'm right. I am right.
Well, no, let me tell you. Because if
How many hospitals have been built in Bedfordshire since we've had mass immigration?
Well, that's
How many?
That
Not
question,
many,
that
if
question,
any.
That question is irrelevant. The Steve.
Well, of course it is. An hospital is only meant to fit to serve so many people.
Can I
in
tell
the
you?
community.
Can I tell you, Steve, why you're wrong?
Go
Are
on.
you prepared to listen?
Yeah, I am.
If we didn't have immigration, do you know what would happen to the hospitals?
Don't give me that. We've always had immigration. Of course we've had immigration, but we've never had mass immigration, which we've got different cultures and we don't like each other. Go on.
Steve, well, you may not like them.
No, most people don't like them, but they stand up and say it.
Well, which ones...
Not they don't like them, it's the way they act.
Well, you just said you don't like them. Which ones don't you like?
Majority of them, mate, 90% I don't want here.
Polish?
Yeah, don't want them.
Romanians?
Hold on, I'll look after my own people. Our people first, then the other people can follow. Simple.
Who are our people, Steve?
English people, British speaking, well-mannered, respectful, hard-working.
Okay. Well, you just summed up a lot of the people who've got Indian heritage and Pakistani heritage and Polish heritage.
Yeah, but surely we've got... Hold on, we changed the subject, right? But as you're on the subject, we've got 1 million people between 18 and 25 that are not working. Surely we should get them off the dole and then bring immigration in.
Would you allow... OK, so would you allow people whose parents were immigrants to stay here?
Well, yeah, most of us are probably born immigrants. We've all got immigrants in us.
Oh,
it doesn't
OK,
really matter,
so
it's
you're
the
allowed to
mentality.
stay, but we stop it now.
No, it's not never allowed to stay. It's the way people act in the country, isn't it? At the end of the day, people, we've always, hundreds of years, it's in our blood, isn't it?
When was the last time you went to a hospital?
Thankfully, about 7 or 8 years ago.
I was there about a month ago with my mother-in-law. And I'm trying to think how many English accents I heard from the staff that worked there. And you're right, Steve, not many. The majority of the staff...
No, well, that's wrong then, isn't it? They should be speaking English, even if they're foreign.
No, Steve, you're not listening. They were speaking English, excellent English. But they
probably were.
Yeah, well, no, they definitely were. But they were foreign accents. The point I'm trying to make, Steve, and you know what the point is, and you're being slightly obtuse this morning. You got a little bit grumpy this morning.
I've got my principles and I've got my views, my beliefs. Yeah, and that's the way it is.
And they're wrong this morning because the majority of people that were seeing my mother-in-law were foreign. So without them, the hospital, Steve, would grind to a halt. How's about them apples?
Because, hold on, the hospitals were still operating 50 years ago, 60 years ago without mass immigration. But what I'm on about is we've got too many people, we've got too many patients.
Yeah.
We've got too many patients in the area for the hospitals to serve. So they get stressed out, they make mistakes, and obviously people do, by the sounds of it, die, which in this day and age is completely wrong. It's down to the government to do something and fund it properly and train it properly.
Steve?
Yes.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, bye.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the A1 Great North Road, it's looking very busy from the Colmworth turn-off to the Black Cat roundabout through the roadworks. In High Wycombe, though, it's all moving fine again on the A40 West Wycombe Road between Oak Ridge Road and Desborough Park Road, where it was closed earlier on. On the motorways, on the M1 southbound, it's looking very slow from junction 12 for Flitwick to junction 11 for Dunstable Road, but the broken-down lorry there has been cleared away. And the M25 anti-clockwise is looking slow around junction 19 for Watford. On the A406 North Circular Road, there are queues from Neasden to the Neasden interchange towards the Staples Corner flyover, and on the trains, the 7:31 service from Hemel Hempstead to East Croydon, the one calling through Watford at 7:40 is cancelled. Samantha Bruft, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Samantha Bruft. 7:18. It is Friday, the 20th of February. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Bedford Hospital has apologised unreservedly for the distress caused to the family of an elderly man who died there. And party leaders in Milton Keynes Council meet this morning to try to agree a budget.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Three Counties Sport.
We're back with another afternoon of live football tomorrow. A top-of-the-table clash at Vicarage Road with Watford against Norwich. MK Dons back at Stadium MK to take on their old rivals Peterborough. Luton away to AFC Wimbledon as the Hatters continue to push for promotion. Stevenage entertaining Southend at the Lamex. Live commentary on your local team with Three Counties Sport. Tomorrow from 2 here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Peter's in Walmer Green. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning.
What would you like to have a whinge about this morning, my love?
Well, I just listened to you talking about
Kiss
the
a kiss.
National Health Service.
Yes, sir. Kiss a kiss.
When you turned around and said
Kiss a
it wouldn't
kiss.
be running if it wasn't for the incomers, basically.
The incomers, yes.
Yes.
I used to like them, the incomers.
they said exactly
It's the ones
the
where they
same-
drive past the people at the bus stop, isn't it? Bus stop,
They
losers.
said all the same things.
Is that the incomers?
In-betweeners.
That's the what?
In-betweeners.
That was the in-betweeners, Peter, you meant, not the incomers.
I'm doing secret things.
Okay, the migrants then.
No, it was definitely the in-betweeners.
Now, would you quite kindly listen and may learn? I may teach you something.
I
They
look
told
forward
us
to
the
it.
same about the buses many years ago. The buses would stop unless we allowed people in. That was total nonsense at the time. The whole population...
Peter, when was the last time you went to a hospital?
I went to hospital about 3 weeks ago.
Right, and I hope you're well. But how many English accents did you hear from people that were working there?
Oh, quite a few, really.
Yeah, the majority of accents I heard when I took my mother-in-law were foreign. And boy, oh boy, was I glad to see them. Was I glad to see those immigrants, Peter? More immigrants. I want more immigrants if they are going to make an elderly woman better.
Can I raise a point?
I don't know, can you?
Just over a year ago, my son, because he had been struggling to find a job, thought, oh, well, I'll try as a hospital porter.
Yeah.
No vacancies. And my son's very, very English, believe me.
Well, how English is
and
he?
He's got an honest degree in mathematics. He thought he'd work his way up.
Well, listen,
no
good
jobs.
Well, isn't that great that all the porter jobs in hospitals are gone? That's wonderful. That means, Peter, that means that the system is working. That means that there won't be elderly people lying on beds waiting to be taken to their operations because all the porters are filled.
And it also means...
I hope he put his name on the waiting list so that if any jobs come up, they'll call him.
And it also means some English people can't get jobs.
English people don't want those jobs. Your son is the exception that proves the point. Hey, Peter, listen.
My son is not an exception.
Peter.
Yes?
I know why there's beef, and I am sorry. I owe you an apology, brother.
Why's that?
I am sorry, and it's just dawned on me how rude I've been. I'm sat here at the studio.
Yeah.
Got a bag at my feet of T-shirts made up.
Yeah.
For Justin Dealey's 50 Shades of Mayhem. You know what that is?
I had a couple of friends went to see that.
Yeah?
A couple of lady friends.
Oh, yeah? Did they come back and...
They come out so traumatised it took them between 10 and 15 minutes to find their car.
Did they come and experiment on you? Did they bring some sellotape round and prick stick?
I got my bottom slaps.
Oh? Say that again, Peter.
I got my bottom slaps.
And did you like it?
Not particularly.
Well, listen, do you want to come with us on Sunday to see 50 Shades of Grey? It's Justin Dealey's 50 Shades of Mayhem. We're all going to meet up. Catherine's not coming, so don't worry. You're not...
No, with your grey hair and my grey hair, that'd be 52 shades of grey.
Peter, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Peter's busy getting his bum slapped, having a gay old time. Good for him. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. So, Amanda Steele, she was homeless about 17 years ago when she was 16, living in London. Got looked after by a couple of homeless people, and then a non-homeless people. What would you call them? Oh, homed. Would you call them home people? Homeful. So a homeful couple was walking past and saw her and said, "Oh, well, listen, why don't you come and stay with us in Abbots Langley for a bit?"
Which sounds really dodgy. Not Abbots Langley, that's lovely, I'm sure, but the fact that a couple of 30-somethings would take a complete stranger off the street, but they did, and it wasn't dodgy.
And here's the thing that we both thought: born-again Christians.
They weren't.
No, they weren't. They were just ordinary. Makes it sound like I'm criticising born again.
They were just doing it because they felt it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. So she went and stayed with them for 3 weeks. Then she got picked up by the police and taken home. And she was 16 and she was confused. And it all happened very quickly. She's not done anything since then.
But she's always regretted not telling them how much it meant to them.
Regretted. Doesn't remember their names. Doesn't remember exactly where they lived. But she remembered bits and pieces of the area. So we decided, Catherine, myself and Paul Scoynes decided we'd take Amanda to Abbots Langley just to see if anything, kind of fired off a memory in her head. Right. Here we go. Oh.
See, this looks familiar, this little side boat.
Should we have a little walk down here? Let's have a little look down here.
Guys.
Hello, fellas. You're right. Thank you, mate.
You know where you are? You know where you're going?
We're trying to look. This young lady, this young lady here stayed here about 17 years ago for 3 weeks, and we don't quite know where.
In a private address.
Yeah.
How many years ago?
17.
Yeah. So were you featured in the paper last week? You're trying to trace.
Yeah.
Oh, did you read her story?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're trying to trace a couple that were kind to you.
You got no idea, but
well, no, we're only over here in the last 10 years. But I would have thought surely there would have been a name that registered with you.
Well, this is the thing because obviously I was only with them for 3 weeks and I was really ill at the time. And it's been 17 years since then, and didn't think they'd want to even speak to me because I just kind of up and left, and they didn't know the details. So
surely you would have thought if you put something in the local rag to say that does anybody recollect a couple having a young person in their charge, that might stimulate something, mightn't
I'm hoping so. It's
but this is kind of why we're here today. We're just having a wander around, see if anything, a little light goes off in her head that she remembers something.
Yeah, I mean, was there nothing distinguishable about the area that you were at? Was there like maybe a church or a school?
No, I remember it was just off Balmoral Road because I remember going up to the spa, and I think I remember this Ginnell because I think I had to go down here to get to their place.
What sort of age would the people have been?
They'd have been about my age now, so about in their mid-30s.
Oh, right. So it was a young couple helping a young person, which was absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's one of life's great stories.
Yeah, it really is.
Good luck.
Really nice to meet you, mate. Thank you very much. Cheers.
You. Bye.
Long Barn Close.
This does look familiar.
What do you think?
Well, it looks familiar, and they look like some of these houses look like they could be ground floor flats as well. Because it was in like a cul-de-sac kind of place.
And this is a kind of cul-de-sac kind of place?
Yes. Yeah, the technical term. I might be wrong, actually.
Doesn't matter. There's no...
Yeah, because they actually look called like houses, don't they?
I think they are houses.
Yeah, rather than...
Okay. Should we head back out to the main road and see what we can see? If you want to see, there is a video of this. It's on facebook.com/BBC3CR or facebook.com/Iain Lee.
And I just did a tweet, so if you could retweet it, Iain.
I'm retweeting it now at 3CR Kate and at Iain Lee. So that's being retweeted now. Just have a look, because all we need is just one person to see it and go, oh, yeah, I know it. Oh, I remember. My mum and dad told me they did that once. Or I remember that couple. That was next door to us. Or even, hey, yeah, that was us. I wondered what happened. All we need is one person.
They must be wondering what happened to her. She just went out one day and never came back.
So go and have a look and see what you can see. Let me just...
I got my bottom slapped.
Cheeky. Now, have we got any texts?
No, but I recognise a listener at the front door.
Oh, blimey, who's at the front door?
I recognise him.
Oh, blimey.
Off the Twitter.
Uh-oh.
We have got... no, we haven't got any... Well, we've got a couple.
Are they rude?
Disco Dave says, I don't usually get mad, but without immigration we'd have no doctors and no one doing jobs a lazy English wouldn't do. Disco Dave says 90% of his friends are foreign or black. Not that he's counting.
Here's the thing. How many black friends have you got on your phone book on your phone?
2.
I've got none. That says something. I don't know what it says.
I grew up in a very white area.
I grew up in Slough. Well, do you know what? There weren't many black people in Slough. It was primarily Asians. I've got no... Thinking off the top of my head, no black or Asian... I haven't got many friends, if I'm being completely honest. That's not the lifestyle I tend to lead. But I've got no black or Asian people in my phone. There's something in that. I don't quite know what it is. Does that highlight the fact that communities tend to keep to themselves to themselves? Is it because I grew up in a council estate, but now I'm kind of white, middle-aged, middle class, and I don't know. You know, we talk. One of the criticisms of immigrants is, they keep themselves to themselves, but I am making no effort to integrate them into my lives.
I don't know. I mean, should we be counting? That makes me feel really uncomfortable, the fact that I have to defend and sort of count who...
Well, no, we don't have to defend. I just think it's an interesting observation to make.
Yeah.
And here at the liberal BBC, where we're always accused of having a lefty liberal bias, how many black and Asian people work here at BBC Three Counties Radio? 4 that I can think of off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't know, does it say anything? Am I reading too much into that? Or does it highlight the fact that different communities don't integrate? Does it highlight the fact that the BBC is massively racist? I don't know what if anything, it highlights, but it's just...
If you're black, does that ratio work on your phone? Have you got, only a few white people on your phone? I mean, it depends where you grow up, doesn't it? It depends who you mix with.
It depends. I don't think it depends where you grew up. I think it depends who you mix with. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Aston Clinton on the A41 Aston Clinton bypass, there's a lane closed because of an accident between the Woodlands roundabout and the Marshworth turnoff eastbound. On the A1 Great North Road, it's very slow from the Coneworth turnoff towards the Black Cat roundabout. And looking at the motorways on the M1 southbound, it's slow between junction 12 for Flitwick and 11 for Dunstable Road. On the A46 North Circular Road, there's been an accident between the Staples Corner flyover and Wembley. That's causing delays from the Brent Cross flyover westbound. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. Good morning. I'm Barry Caffrey with the headlines. Health bosses have apologised for the unacceptable treatment of an elderly man who died at Bedford Hospital. 82-year-old Edward McCavery passed away in October last year after being admitted with pneumonia and renal failure following a fall. Finance ministers from the Eurozone are due to meet in their latest attempt to resolve Greece's bailout crisis. Last night, the leaders of Germany and Greece spoke by phone after Berlin rejected Athens' appeal for the current loan agreement to be extended. Party leaders on Milton Keynes Council meet this morning to try to agree a new budget. The plans by the Labour administration for £22 million worth of cuts were rejected on Wednesday night. Police are appealing for witnesses after a man was beaten unconscious in Dunstable in the early hours of last Friday morning. He was attacked by a group of 12 men in the Woodside Industrial Estate on Encourt Road. Bedfordshire police say it was a particularly horrible and completely unprovoked attack. The RAC Foundation has claimed that motorists who were given parking tickets on private land may be in line for compensation worth tens of millions of pounds. Research for the RAC says the penalties are unenforceable, extravagant and out of proportion to any losses suffered. And the weather forecast today will be a bright and mainly dry day with spells of hazy sunshine, but it will feel chilly with highs of 7 Celsius, that's 45 in Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England's cricketers have suffered a second damaging defeat at the World Cup. They were bowled out by New Zealand for just 123 runs this morning, with Tim Southee taking 7 wickets for 33. New Zealand then needed just 74 balls to wrap up an 8-wicket win, with their captain Brendan McCullum scoring the fastest World Cup 50. Captain Owen Morgan regrets batting first.
Winning the toss in what I thought was batter-friendly conditions was pretty hard to take after about 15 overs, given the ball swung for so long and the fact that New Zealand took early wickets and continued to build pressure throughout. We sort of got a partnership going in the middle, but then again when they took a half a chance in the wicket getting me out, the ball continued to swing, which is again unexpected, and with the expectation of us trying to get 260, 270 was quite difficult.
Liverpool have a slim advantage going into the second leg of their Europa League last 32 tie against Besiktas after a 1-0 win at Anfield. Ian Brown was watching.
Liverpool will be on familiar terrain for the second leg next week, the Ataturk Olympic Stadium, where they won the Champions League 10 years ago. They'll go there with a lead thanks to a substitute by the name of Mario Balotelli, though nothing is straightforward with him. He seemed to win an argument with Jordan Henderson in order to take the 85th minute penalty, which won the game. It followed a foul on Jordan Ibe. Liverpool were just about on top in an intense game of few clear chances. Goalkeeper Mignolet deserving of a mention for his first half save to deny Demba Ba.
Elsewhere in the Europa League, John Guidetti scored an added time equaliser as Celtic came from 2-0 down to draw 3-3 with Inter Milan. Tottenham and Fiorentina drew 1-1. Romelu Lukaku scored a hat-trick as Everton had a 4-1 win over Young Boys of Switzerland. That was despite losing John Stones to a red card with half an hour to play. Tiger Woods' indefinite break from golf will take in next week's PGA Tour Honda Classic. The 39-year-old said last week that he was taking time out from the sport in order to work on his game after another injury scare and poor form, but he hoped to play at Palm Beach. BBC Three Counties Radio News and Sport. I'm back with a full bulletin at 8 o'clock.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's the last kind of regular open door policy. We'll still do it on special occasions.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's giggling? I'm hearing a giggling. Was that you giggling?
Yeah.
Stop giggling. We're doing the radio. It's all proper now, for goodness sake. Stop it. So this is the last one. We've been joined by, well, Dr. Watts has turned up again.
Hello.
Are you bunking off work this morning?
I am. I booked the morning off.
Have you actually done it officially?
Yeah, just to bring this young lady down.
So this is Jessica.
It is.
How long have you been married?
14 years.
Jessica, you're his daughter.
Yeah.
Are you 14 years old?
Yes, I am.
Okay, right. Now be honest, Jessica, because I can tell a liar. Do you listen to this radio show?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Still came in.
What's her name?
Catherine.
What's the young lady who's bunked off, who let you in? What's her name?
Kelly.
What's the weird, creepy man that goes out on the street with the microphone?
Oh, I forgot his name.
No, don't tell her, Dr. Watts. Keep.
I was actually going to hint, but
no, well, you've forgotten his name.
Yeah.
So you listen a lot, do you? Out. No, you listen. You're welcome. So nice to see you. It's Justin. J-Dog.
The J-Dog.
Well done for forgetting, actually. That's actually a bonus. And Daniel's turned up. So, morning, Daniel.
Morning.
Now, Daniel, you tweet us quite regularly.
Yes,
from
that's
time
right.
to time. Isn't Twitter the most annoying thing in the world?
Yeah, it's quite enjoyable.
Who do you follow on Twitter? What kind of people are you following?
I try and keep it restricted, really, to people who are actually interested in following.
Yeah.
Like your good selves.
Well, bless you. You're very, very kind. I don't follow anybody there. I follow about 35 people these days.
You follow people that might say something you could sue them for.
Yeah, that's. I suppose what you don't get, Daniel, that I get, and you get a little bit, is like the abuse. Do you get abuse on there?
No, I've managed to avoid being trolled. I think I'm below the radar.
Yeah, you tend to get a lot of. I tend to get a lot of abuse on there. You're starting to get a bit.
I get a little bit, but mostly from people who think I'm bimbo. They don't think it for very long.
You mean you're not?
What?
I
pwn them. I pwn them good.
So Daniel, you listen to the show.
I do.
What? Can I ask why? Because it always doing this kind of job. It does amaze me. You're kind of in this little box here, and we've got Kelly through there, and we get a few phone calls, but you're kind of isolated, and it always amazes me that people actually listen to this. You know, what is basically just us messing around and showing off. Why do you listen to it?
I think it's basically because you just mess around and show off. I think it's slightly different to your run-of-the-mill radio.
Does that work? Because sometimes I do worry that we're being a little bit self-indulgent. And we're being a little bit in. You don't think so, Dr. Watts?
No, I think it's great, actually, because it's different to everything else on the radio.
Yeah.
That's what makes it good.
Okay.
Totally different.
I'm having a crisis of confidence at the moment. This is why I'm asking this. Tell us about yourself, Daniel. Where do you live? What do you do, if you do anything?
Yeah, I live in Aylesbury.
Oh, so you're posh.
Oh, that's why you're called Vale of Ale, is that right?
Vale of Ale, yes, exactly. There we go.
Yeah.
I work for a recruitment company.
Okay.
So I normally get to listen in the car. So this is a treat because I'm on holiday this week. It's half term.
Have you got kids?
I certainly do.
How old are your kids?
8 and 10.
Where are they, in the car?
No, I've left them at home.
Boys or girls?
A boy is 8 and girl is 10.
Okay, you can ask about the girls in a bit because I've got boys. They're 5 and they're 3. Do they ever? Excuse my language, Jessica. Do they ever stop obsessing about their willies? Does that go? Just constantly. Oh God, he's playing. It's just constant. Daddy, do you want to... No, I don't. Put it away. For goodness sakes. Although, I'll tell you this story off air. I won't say because we've got young ears, but there's something for... Anyway.
Not that one.
No, I can't. Anyway.
My girls are equally obsessed, but it's with boobies.
I went swimming. I went for a steam the other day. I've been getting a really bad cold, so I go for a steam to try and save my voice. And it was in the swimming pool, and there was a poster advertising bikinis, right? Not bikinis, so one-piece swimsuits. And there's a woman posing there, and there were these girls, and they were about 8 years old, and they go, "Come on, very quick," not to me, to their friend. "Come over here, look, boobies." And they were obsessed.
Yeah.
They were obsessed.
It's whatever you don't got, isn't it?
Jessica, you want to work in radio?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, it's different, isn't it?
Well, it's different. It doesn't pay very well.
No, it don't.
This doesn't... I mean, this pays... You know, fair play, I'm doing all right. But it doesn't pay... You're not going to be rich. Does that put you off?
No.
Okay.
Okay. It is a laugh, though.
Yeah.
Some days.
Well,
most days.
What we do is a laugh, but then we've both had jobs where it's not a laugh.
Yeah. But you have to work your way up, don't you?
Miserable. Is this up or is this down? I don't know where we are with this.
Yeah. No, but I've done miserable jobs, but you think, right, this is me honing what I don't want to do. In any kind of work you do that, don't you? You kind of find something, right, this is my sweet spot, this is the way I want to take it, and it's up to you, isn't it?
Right, Jessica, you come and stand here. You come and stand here and do this. Swap headphones. Let's see how it is. You might have to put the microphone down a little bit. I've got it on lanky height. So, pull the microphone.
Way too high.
Put the headphones on so you can hear what's going on. You can talk to us, you can do whatever you want. Put your phones down. No phones on in the studio, for goodness sakes. And then when you've had enough of talking, when you've had enough of talking or interviewing Kath or whoever, you can hit that button and that will play us a song, and then we're done. So go on.
What am I supposed to say?
Well, I don't know. It's your radio show, isn't it?
Yeah, asking about him.
Or you got Daniel. You can speak to your dad about being a slacker, or you can speak to Catherine. It's your radio show now. Over to Jessica. Get a little bit closer to the microphone.
Tell us who you're listening to. So, good morning, you're listening to BBC.
Good morning, you're listening to BBC Three Counties Radio. I'm Jessica Wittering.
Ooh. Gosh, I'm in. I'm going closer to the radio, and I'm turning it up. This sounds exciting.
Yeah.
And today we're going to speak to Dave Watt.
Hey, she's got Watty on. What a booking! She's got Dr. Watts on. I'm not getting out of the car now. I'm listening.
He's been working on radio since he was...
Too young. 17?
About 17, and...
Don't forget, when you've had enough...
Still does it now.
Just hit that button. Hit that
Still does it now. Hit go.
Hit go. And then those 3 faders that are down, push them up. The reds... No. Those ones are in the middle.
There's a voice.
That's it. Push them up to the top.
Down the road is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold, a brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roll.
Jessica, well done. I put you on the spot, and I thought you were brilliant. So, what is there anything you want to know? Because you've got the best brains in radio are not here today, but you've got me and Catherine. I've worked at loads of different stations. Catherine has worked at various different stations. Is there anything you want to know about working in radio? We've got Kelly Betts through there as well. Kelly Betts, put your headphones on, and Kelly can help as well. Is there anything you want to know?
Not really.
Oh, thanks for coming in. OK.
You come to the right place.
Well, that's that sorted.
It's just exams and stuff, isn't it? You've got to do your options soon, and she was looking at that.
Options, flipping it.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, I do. God, I feel old.
I don't think you need to narrow it down yet. I think just do something that you're good at and that you enjoy, makes you an interesting person.
There you go.
I was rubbish at my exams and I failed all my exams, and look at me, I earn more than her. So, there's no logic to any of this at all. There's no logic to any of this at all. All right, listen, are you right to stay till 8 o'clock? You OK, Daniel? You OK to stay till 8 o'clock?
Fine.
08459 455 555 if you want to speak to anybody here. Let's get the travel.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 clockwise, there's a lorry's broken down between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield, so that's starting to cause queues to build up. In Aston Clinton on the A41, there's a lane closed because of an accident eastbound between the Woodlands roundabout and the Marsworth turnoff. On the A1 Great North Road, that's looking very slow in both directions between the Black Cat roundabout and Roxton, and the A602 Broad Hill Way is very busy in both directions at Gunnelswood Road between the football ground and the A1M. No reports of any major problems though on the trains at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Samantha. Right, 7:45. It is Friday the 20th of February. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Health bosses have apologised for the unacceptable treatment of an elderly man who died at Bedford Hospital, and the RAC has claimed that motorists who are given parking tickets on private land may be in line for compensation worth tens of millions of pounds. Let's get the weather. Here's Wendy.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. The Three Counties have a fair spell of fair weather through the day today. Unlikely as it may seem, it looks like the rain is going to stay much further south of us. There is still a risk that it might just push up into southernmost parts of Hertfordshire in particular, but it looks like most of us will get away with a dry day today. We've got a bit of brightness, a bit of sunshine out there at the moment, and I suspect we'll hang on to that, but the cloud will come and go associated with the rain that's going to be falling further south across the country. Temperatures today will get to about 7 or 8 degrees, and the wind will be generally light to moderate. And as we go through the first part of tonight, the skies will stay clear, and so temperatures are likely to dip close to freezing. Perhaps around 2 degrees is a general level that we're looking at, and we will have as a result fairly chilly conditions through the first part of the night. So when we start to see 1 or 2 showers cropping up in the early hours of the morning, it could be because they've also got a northwesterly wind behind them, they turn a little bit sleety for a time. Over the Chilterns there's a possibility you might just get a little dusting of snow, but most of it won't settle, and it will be dry by the morning. So for Saturday it's not looking too bad. There will be some sunny spells and temperatures will be up to about 7, maybe 8 degrees. But for Sunday, we'll start all right. It will go downhill, clouding over with some rain through the afternoon, and the wind will be increasing all the time. So then we start on a blustery few days, so into Monday and Tuesday as well.
Across beds, Herts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Dealey?
Hey, boss, good morning. You interrupt me at a very, very crucial stage of my street voxing this morning, so this better be good.
You sound like you got your mouth full.
No.
You eating
your
breakfast?
No, your mouth will be full very soon. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey! Are you speaking to the clown?
Yes, I have been in conversation with the clown. As we speak, he is applying his lipstick and making some brekkie fast.
Now, Justin, we've got Jessica here. She's a young lady who wants to work in radio.
Right.
And you've worked in radio probably long. You've been doing it forever, haven't you?
She's 14. You were about that when you started, weren't you?
I think I started. I first started in hospital radio when I was about 13, so a very, very long time ago, and I love my job.
Did you do your own shows on hospital radio?
Yeah, I had hospital radio, community radio, which then opened the door, thankfully, at the BBC for me.
Could you please tell me, and I know you will, you've got some of that on tape. Justin.
Yes, I have got some of it on tape.
Oh,
yes, some
man.
of it.
Please, can you bring it in next week? I'll tell you what, if you bring in some of yours, I'll bring in some of my first radio stuff.
Yeah, I mean, how are we going to get it off cassette, though?
I've got a cassette player at home, hooked up to my computer.
Right, job done, there you go. Excellent.
My gran's got a tape of me and my sister doing KB radios when I was about 9.
I had a tape of me doing it when I was about 5, and I lost it in the move. Justin, bring those in, and I'll sort it out.
Well, you say about 5. My cousin actually contacted me recently, and you'll love this even more. When I was younger, I would say about 7 or 8 years old, I was actually making demo radio tapes back then, and she found one recently, so I can go back even further for you.
Bring it in, and we'll get it put on computer.
Yeah, nice one, boss. Looking forward to it.
Speak to you later on. Ta-ra.
Take care. Cheers, bye.
Now listen, right, if that chancer can get a job in radio, then anybody can. He has got literally no skills, no talent. He stinks. He's a strange, but he's got very little going for him.
But he's persistent.
Sure is.
And a little bit rude. So if you can do that, you can do anything. 08459 455 555.
Speaking of persistent problems, where's Matt? I thought Matty Bum Bum was coming in today.
Listen, I thought Matty Bum Bum was coming in, and Dave Luton was coming in, because we've got here from Balcony Shirts. These are the official 50 Shades of Mayhem. Are we okay talking about this in front of your daughter?
Yeah, absolutely,
okay,
yeah.
We have got the official 50 Shades of Mayhem tour T-shirts.
That's a great T-shirt.
This is happening. I paid for these. These are a tenner a pop.
So you can testify, it does say Dave Luton on the back, guys.
It does, yes.
So if we invoice him...
He has to pay. Now, Daniel, Dave Luton, I don't know if you heard, he said he was going to come and see the film with us on Sunday. And then he's changed his tune a bit, and he's disappeared. So, I mean, I don't know if any of you gentlemen want to come and see it.
Well, I work Sundays.
Oh,
listen,
what time?
No. I don't fancy the film either much. The film is going to be rubbish.
I'll go.
You're not invited, Catherine. That's not happening. But we got a Dave Luton. I didn't get a Matty Bum Bum. I got one for... I've got mine, says Boss. I got Dennis, D-Dog.
Because Matt straight out was saying, "Oh no, I'm not going to see that."
Oh no, I'm not going to go and see that. It's Kenny Rogers in it. I'm not going to go.
But then he said, which I find hilarious, "I'll wait for the DVD."
Yeah, he wants to watch it in private. He wants to watch it in private. Jessica, are you afraid of anything?
Spiders.
Hey, listen, I don't like spiders either. Hate spiders. What do you do with them? Do you kill them? Do you get Dad to sort them out? What's the deal? Dad goes and does it.
Yeah, there's a big scream. There's a spider in the bathroom.
Can you pick them up and free them?
Yeah, I'll stick them in a glass under a bit of paper and then sling them out the window.
See, I can't do that. I just get a big, thick book.
Oh!
Smash them against the wall.
I get a little bit of toilet roll. I'm the seer offer in our house.
What do you do with the toilet roll? Crush them?
So I just don't have to touch them. Very gently get hold of them, see them out.
I crush them with a book, then I get toilet roll and I wrap it around and around and around and around. So I've got like 15 deep roll around my hand, and then I scrape off the remains.
Have there been dead bodies in the books that you've lent me? Because
no.
There were some dodgy marks on there.
Steady. No, I crush them. It's always got to be with a thick hardback.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate them. But why I don't get why... Daniel, are you afraid of anything?
Spiders.
It's a little weird, because we're both, big strapping blokes that could look after ourselves, I would imagine. I'm a bit tasty in a fight. But where does it... Did you have any idea where it comes from for you?
No, none at all. I mean, it's, my mum was afraid of frogs, but for me it's spiders.
I don't... I'm all right with frogs. I had to chase a frog down my hallway once.
Did you pick one up?
No, I couldn't touch it unless I really, really had to. If I had to, I could. Couldn't touch a spider Could not touch a spider. My mum is afraid of, you know, the big paper clips you get?
Yeah.
My mum's afraid of those.
That's a real phobia, right? Because I think that phobias of things like spiders and snakes and stuff are because deep down we're all cavemen and women.
Yeah.
And you think it might kill you.
Yeah.
Paperclip. That's proper phobia. My friend's mum was afraid of buttons.
Yeah, buttons is a common one.
Everything she had was on press studs and Velcro.
Really?
Yeah.
Kelly, are you afraid of anything?
Yeah, but I'm not telling you what it is.
Why is that, mate?
Because you'll get one.
No. No. I won't, and it will. You have to tell me. Because on the back of my T-shirt it says boss.
Nope.
And because, supposing I get you one by accident...
You never will.
Well, what
it's
is
not
it?
a thing like that. I'm not scared of spiders or bees or wasps, really. I don't mind them.
Snake?
Snakes for me.
Fine.
Snakes are fine. Oh, bring me a
mate.
snake.
Do you know, I sit on the edge of the sofa like this, scared of this. We're on the telly. Honestly.
I used to work at a
Horrible.
different radio station where they thought it was fun to like bring things in.
Yeah.
Someone brought a python in once, and I
Oh,
swear to
no.
you, it was lying along the floor. I had to go and I had to jump over it to get to the news booth.
Really?
Made me feel sick.
I'm all right with snakes. Snakes and ponies.
Big
I'm
fat
fine
one.
with. Yeah.
Great big fat one.
Sorry?
Lying there going.
Steady.
Ah.
I've got a great snake story.
Well,
a friend of a friend, a guy I work with, right? He had this pet snake, big snake, and he said every time we come over from the pub, he'd lay on the sofa, a snake would lay on the floor next to him, big old snake, straight.
Yeah.
Okay. So eventually he thought, what the hell's going on with this? Took it to the vet. Vet said, time to get rid of the snake.
What?
Yeah, it was weighing him up.
Oh.
Measuring him up for a meal.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Had to get rid of the snake.
See, this is the great thing
True
about...
story.
There's nothing better than seeing a snake with an animal in it.
Well, like when you can see it.
Yeah, like
Tom and
an
Jerry.
outline of a rabbit or something. But that actually happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine being trapped inside a snake, because they don't. Boa constrictors obviously strangle you, but when you're inside the snake, you're still alive. So at what point do you
No,
die?
you're not.
Yeah, of course you
You're
are.
unconscious.
You suffocate, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, no, if a boa constrictor strangled you,
Isn't there a
yes.
song about this?
We'll go to the documentary evidence. You're right. But no, but a constrictor will strangle you.
They bite you to get purchase, apparently.
Yeah, and then wrap around you.
Yeah, but other snakes, they just swallow you whole.
Yeah, but they bite you first to sedate you.
Yeah, but you're still alive. You're like, oh, what's going on? I'm inside a snake. Let me out. And then you can see the punching. That is true.
Why are you banging on the side of the inside of a snake?
That is true. I recognise those. Oh my God, that's Iain. I recognise that's his ring. It's his wedding ring. We better get him out. Is what you and Kelly would definitely say. Yeah. Ow. The reason I'm asking, that's true about snakes. You're alive.
In your own mind. Did you see a documentary on YouTube?
Did you see that? Mum, listen to this, okay? You talk about cavemen. Mum's a nervous T-Rex. She's terrified of dinosaurs.
Well, she's in luck. There aren't any.
Yeah, a bit out of date now.
There's a picture of her, look at her peering out of her front door. And then there's a drawing, what she fears, and it's dinosaurs in her street.
Is that a glum face I see? I'm having that. I'm having that.
Go on, read it. So she's afraid of dinosaurs.
A woman claims to be scared of dinosaurs since seeing Jurassic Park when she was 7. To be honest, I felt the same about sharks. Difference being that they do exist.
Yeah.
Victoria Jones, 28, said she spent most of her life looking over her shoulder for velociraptors. Gosh. She says, I know it's ridiculous because dinosaurs don't exist, but I just can't get over it. Victoria, mum to Owen, 5, and Keris, 19 months, went on, in the daytime, I run to my car to strap in the kids, jumping up and down in the lane. Oh, looking up and down in the lane before jumping in. I plan an escape route, and you can't outrun a velociraptor.
No, man, those things run fast. You have to... I've not seen Jurassic Park, but you just have to hide still in the kitchen, don't you? Isn't that what they do?
You have to climb up into the roof. These tiles will be handy because we can get up into the roof and they'll be snapping at your legs.
OK, fine, I can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
She's nuts.
That is crazy.
She'll have the last laugh if the dinosaurs do finally get free.
Yes, she will.
Which if they get free? Well, there aren't any dinosaurs!
There was a documentary about that on an island. Jurassic
Park 2.
Yeah, well,
Back in the habit.
Is a film.
Documentary.
A documentary. Yeah. Well, she's going to be kind of safe, I suppose. If you know. If
Although, did you see that Japanese prank where they got a bloke dressed up as a velociraptor?
Oh, that was funny.
I'll dig that out and put it on Twitter.
Did you see that?
It was hilarious.
You know the Japanese kind of prank shows are very nasty and very cruel. So they got a fella dressed up as a dinosaur, but he looked brilliant.
They got him inside this suit, so his legs are there, but you can't really see the rest of him. So you turn up to work in the morning, the person goes down the corridor, and all of a sudden, it's like, People are running and screaming. It was a brilliant outfit, wasn't it?
We'll find that and we'll put that up on Twitter. Do you know what? That's it. Doesn't time fly when it's 3 old men and an old woman talking, Jessica? We didn't get round to discussing our roles in World War II, but never mind. Do you still want to work in radio?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen. Any time you want to, if you want to come in, for an hour one morning and kind of sit and watch stuff, I'm sure that'll be all right, Jessica, wouldn't it? We can sort that out. Oh, you're right, Kel. Sorry, you're on the phone. So if you want to come in, get your dad to give us a call and we'll sort that out. Dr. Watts, always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Daniel, I hope it kind of lived up to what little expectation you may have had. I don't know if you had any expectations.
Very little, just sit in the corner, hungover.
Oh, you hungover?
I thought you were quiet.
I see the eyes now. Now I can see the eyes. Right, let's get some Trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 clockwise, there's a lane blocked between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield because a lorry's broken down. It's causing 2-mile queues on the approach. In Aston Clinton, the A41 has a lane closed between the Woodlands roundabout eastbound to the Marshworth turnoff. That's because of an accident that happened there. And the A1 Great North Road, looking at the speed sensors, is very slow between the Coneworth turnoff and the Black Cat roundabout with queues to school on School Lane. And in Stevenage, on the A602 Broadhall Way, that's very busy in both directions near Gunnelswood Road. No reports of any major problems on the trains and no major delays showing up on the departure boards at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock, I'm Barry Caffrey. The headlines: apology from Bedford Hospital over poor treatment of elderly man. MK councillors try to agree new budget, and appeal for man beaten unconscious in Dunstable.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bedford Hospital has apologised unreservedly for the distress caused to the family of an elderly man who died there. 82-year-old Edward McCavery passed away in October last year, but his body wasn't properly prepared before the family saw him. Jan Hansen set up the Cure the NHS in Bedfordshire following the death of his mother at Bedford Hospital.
I went through the whole system, the complaint system. I went right up to the Ombudsman service. Do not just rely on them to do the correct thing, because unfortunately there seems to be a process whereby the management, I'm not saying Bedford management are like this now, but they were in my experience, they tend to delay families, and eventually, sort of 85-90% of people, it grinds them down. It's so upsetting that they walk away.
The RAC Foundation says motorists who were given parking tickets on private land may be in line for compensation worth tens of millions of pounds. Overstaying on private land is dealt with under common law and not criminal law. Professor Stephen Glaister, who's the director of the RAC Foundation, says drivers who've paid more than is reasonable could have a case to ask for their money back.
There is a case coming to the Court of Appeal next week where this argument is going to be tested, and if the judgment goes in favour of a motorist who is contesting an £85 charge, that will then become established in precedent, and so it will become the law of the land, as it were.
Party leaders on Milton Keynes Council meet this morning to try to agree a new budget. The plans by the Labour administration for £22 million of cuts were rejected by the Conservatives and Liberal Democrats on Wednesday night. Councillor Edith Bold, the Tory group leader, is confident they won't need the government to step in.
There is a process, a sort of an emergency process for councils who are unable to set a budget, and a minister from government sort of intervenes and a budget is set, but I don't expect it to come to that.
Police are appealing for witnesses after a man was beaten unconscious in Dunstable in the early hours of last Friday morning. He was attacked by a group of 12 men in the Woodside Industrial Estate on Ayncourt Road. Bedfordshire Police say it was a particularly horrible and completely unprovoked attack. The ice rink in Hemel Hempstead reopens today following a major refurbishment. A campaign was launched to save it after it was threatened with permanent closure last year. Now it is the centrepiece of the redeveloped Jarman's Park, with the help of investment from Dacorum Borough Council and the Tesco Pension Fund. England have been thrashed by New Zealand in their second World Cup match in Wellington. They were bowled out for just 123 in 33 overs. New Zealand raced to the 8-wicket victory, making 125 in 12 overs. Their captain, Brendan McCullum, made the fastest World Cup half-century. The BBC's cricket correspondent, Jonathan Agnew, who was watching the match, was appalled.
It was a really dismal performance by England, possibly the most one-sided one-day match ever. Well, perhaps you can decide that amongst yourselves as well, but I can't think of one at the moment.
And the weather today will be a bright and mainly dry day with spells of hazy sunshine, but it will feel chilly. Winds will be light, highs of 7 Celsius. That's 45 in Fahrenheit. Get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3counties.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Daniel, Dr. Watson, Jessica. Well, that was it. The last regular open door policy, but we'll do it again on special occasions.
Yeah, maybe Christmas.
Maybe Christmas. Thank you, everybody. Well, hey, if we're still here, my contract runs out in September.
I'll still be here. You know I'm never leaving.
Thank you to everyone who came down over the last couple of months. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much indeed. What have we got on the show this morning, Catherine?
Loads of stuff. Hospital apologies.
Yep.
We've got the last instalment of our walk around Abbots Langley with Amanda Steele.
Oh,
we're still looking for those good Samaritans. Please do share the video. We've got it on Facebook and on Twitter.
Yeah, if you follow us at 3CRKate or at Iain Lee, we've tweeted it, or you can go to at Iain Lee, facebook.com/Iain Lee. It's all on there. It's one of those ones that we're not saying share it, so hey, don't we look good and we get big numbers. We just need it to be shared. We just need the right person to see it and go, oh, I know her and I remember that couple and I know where they are now.
She was taken in off the street. She was sleeping rough in London. This couple comes up to her and says, come and stay with us in Abbots Langley. It sounds really dodgy. They weren't. They were just really kind.
Just nice people.
She stayed with them for about a month and then got picked up by the police and sent home. She never got to say thank you, and that's what she wants to put right. You can help us do that.
Oh, and by the way, we're still furnishing a house, and boy, have I just had a great photo.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
We're furnishing a house from bits and pieces that you have found in the streets, and, well, Joe has just sent me a picture of an upside-down jacuzzi in a field.
Who wouldn't want a jacuzzi?
We are having that. Biggers is on the line. Morning, Biggers.
All
right, now steady on. I warn you, I've got young ears in the studio, Biggers, and you've terrified all of us.
Good morning, young man. How are you?
I'm very well, old man. What you got?
How do you know how old I am?
I can tell by your smoky voice. Yes.
All right. What I've got for you, mate. Could you put me an extra large T-shirt to one side for me for Sunday? I'm coming.
Oh, are you coming?
I'm definitely coming, mate.
50 Shades of Mayhem, excellent stuff.
50 Shades of Mayhem.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not getting any more T-shirts because they cost me 10 quid a pop. So, you'll have to bring your own.
Right, OK. And the other little point I wanted to make, we're all meeting in the foyer. Is Justin Dealey going to be going around the back with a quick growler, is he? A quick sneak
I suspect he might be, because 5:40, Sunday afternoon, we shall be at the cinema if everybody wants to come. I'm curtailing that slightly because I do have young ears in the studio and I would hate to cause offence to anybody. 08459 455 555 is the phone number. It's a story we've been talking about all morning, and it's well, it's incredible, really. Have a listen to this. I'd love to get your thoughts. Health bosses have apologised for the unacceptable treatment of an elderly man who died at Bedford Hospital. 82-year-old Edward McCavery. Am I pronouncing that name right?
McCavery.
McCavery. You know, as I was saying it all morning, I thought, I bet I'm not getting it right. Thank you.
You're not the first.
Edward McCavery passed away in October last year after being admitted with pneumonia and renal failure following a fall. Well, I'm joined now by Edward's daughter, Donna. Donna, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And is this your daughter we got?
This is my daughter, Karen.
Morning, Karen. You're right. Excellent stuff. You chip in if you want, or you keep quiet if you want, Karen. It's absolutely fine. Donna, I kind of need you to talk, otherwise we haven't got much going on. We've been talking about this all morning, and I really appreciate you coming in. You say that staff didn't tell you how sick your dad was. Is that right?
That's right. When he was admitted, so there was a period of a week between his admission and his death. We were obviously aware that he wasn't a well man when he was admitted. I mean, he's an old man, he'd got kidney failure. We knew he wasn't well. And on that basis, we wanted information from the staff as to the seriousness of the condition. If Dad was approaching end of life, we wanted to be able to take the decision to bring him home, to spend his last days at home. His other daughter is in Australia, his brother's in Northern Ireland. We wanted the opportunity to get them over to say their goodbyes, and the staff were... They just couldn't even make eye contact with us. That we just could not get any information from them at all. The only time I had contact with a nurse was when we walked in to visit and she was doing the routine observations, and I said to her, you know, why is Dad in hospital? Why are you keeping him in? What is wrong? And we're waiting for blood tests. I said, well, blood tests for what? And she just got the chart and looked at it.
So it's as basic as that. They wouldn't or couldn't tell you what was wrong with him?
No, they just said, we're waiting for results of blood tests. And when I asked for what the blood tests were for, they just said, kidney. And they were so busy that they just couldn't spare the time to talk to us. And in fact, after he died and we insisted on seeing a doctor, her comments were, you need to have a nurse here and they're too busy, you'll have to come back later.
Dad's condition was worsening, I'm assuming, while he was there.
Well, we actually thought he was getting slightly better.
Right.
He started to look better. When he was admitted, we knew he wasn't eating properly. His appetite had decreased. But towards the last few days, he actually had said to us, I've eaten my dinner, and, you know, the signs were looking more positive. He was eating, he did look better, and we thought, OK, you know, and we did actually say to him, you know, well, you don't want to be here, do you, Dad? And he said, no, I don't. And I said, well, you know, we'll get you home as soon as we can. And
he was there for 7 days, did you say, before he passed?
He went in on the 1st and he died on the 9th.
I'm really sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Do you know, you're one of the very first people to actually say that.
Really?
We didn't even get that from the hospital.
Really?
No.
Well, how long ago was this, Stella?
9th of October he died.
Oh, so it's still really recent. I am really sorry. I lost my dad a couple of years ago, and it's hard work.
It is hard work, and we lost Mum a couple of years before that. And
she's having a run of bad luck.
Yeah, it's... the Dad's dying isn't the issue that we have an issue. You know, Dad was 82. He was poorly. He'd lost his wife a couple of years ago. You know, he'd kind of had enough, really.
Yeah.
It was the way the hospital dealt with the whole procedure once he died and following that.
I'm going to ask you some questions that are going to be horrible, and if I ask something you don't want to answer, tell me to shut up.
Okay.
And I see you got you know, a little one looking after you, so you look after your mum during this, because it's not going to be very nice. But when did you find out that Dad had died?
My brother got a phone call, I believe it was about 5 o'clock in the morning. From what I understand, he answered the phone. It was Bedford Hospital, and they said, you know, we're ringing you. Dad's not had a very good night. My brother said, what do you mean? And they said, we'll just pass you on to the doctor. So I get the impression that the doctor had obviously said to a member of staff, can you get Mr McAvery on the phone? When you get him on the phone, come and get me. So yeah, your dad's not had a very good night. I'll give you to the doctor. The doctor came on the phone and said that he'd passed. So it's kind of not a very good night, really.
That's a bad night, isn't it? I'm sorry to laugh, but that's a...
In anybody's book, it's not a great night.
That's a bad night. And listen, doctors, I think, are brilliant, but they're not the most tactful of people, are they, generally?
No, we were unfortunate in that we didn't really have contact with the doctors. While Dad was poorly, my brother insisted on seeing a doctor. He made an appointment for 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He arrived at the hospital at 1 o'clock in case the doctor was early. By 4:30, he still hadn't been seen, so he insisted that this meeting take place. The doctor took him into a room, typed it in the computer, and they couldn't get Dad's notes up on the computer. So, again, he was unable to get any information.
Now, this is the thing. This whole story is horrific, but there's one line that really gets me. Was it you that went to the hospital and the nurse uttered the line, his body may be in a bag.
We phoned the hospital. The hospital phoned us at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Were we planning to come in and see Dad? Yes, we were. We would be in within the hour.
Yeah.
OK, you need to go to Rose Cottage. Where's Rose Cottage? Oh, it's the mortuary. OK, that's fine. We'll be there within the hour. So we arrived, went to the mortuary. And in all fairness, I will say, with everything that's gone on in the mortuary, and the mortuary attendant couldn't have been more helpful. They were great. Unfortunately, they had no record of Dad being down there. So they phoned the ward. Yes, he was still up on the ward. So they said, you know, it might be better if you go up and see him on the ward. He might look a bit more peaceful. You won't be in the kind of surroundings of a mortuary. So they said to the ward, yeah, they're on their way up.
You can take those headphones off if they're irritating. Yeah, you can take those off.
I've got a small head.
Yeah, if they're irritating, you take them off.
So we went up to the ward, and I don't know if you've been to the Reginald Hart ward, but there's a very long corridor with kind of bays off the side of it. So we're walking down the main corridor, and a member of staff in a burgundy uniform was approaching us, and she recognised my brother, and I recognise you. He said, yeah, we've come to see our father. He passed away in the night. And then she said, oh, you may be too late. He may already be in the bag. Now, all it took, Iain, all they had to say, if that was the case, was, I'm really sorry, Dad's not ready for you yet. Would you like to go and get a cup of tea? In an hour's time, we'll have him down in the mortuary where you can see him. That's all they needed to say. It was, no, you might be too late. His body's maybe in the bag. There's 2 chairs there. Sit down there and we'll come and get you.
It's just cold and thoughtless, isn't it?
I think as soon as she uttered the words, you could see on her face, it was like, oh, what have I just said?
But still.
But if you're trained to deal... And the Reginald Hart ward is a ward that deals with care of the elderly, so death is not something they're not used to.
The hospital says what happened to Dad was unacceptable. They've apologised in a letter dated the 16th of February, which we've seen. What's your response to that, Donna?
It's taken... I wrote the complaint letter on the 9th of December, so it's taken till the 16th of February to actually get the hospital to acknowledge that there was a problem. It's very easy to type unreserved apologies on a piece of paper, and I have absolutely no doubt that on their computers they have these standard templates that they churn out to people who dare make complaints. How can we be assured that this isn't going to happen to somebody else? Because like Iain said, I was listening to him on the phone earlier on, and it does stay with you day in, day out. What right have Bedford Hospital got to leave those words in our minds, to have presented our father to us in the condition they did? And that was our last memory of him. We were denied the right to sit with him and talk to him and say our goodbyes. And Dad was actually denied the right of dignity in death. What right have Bedford Hospital got to do that? And if they think an unreserved apology on a piece of paper makes me going to go away, then I'm afraid it's not going to.
What are you going to do next?
All I've ever wanted, actually, was for somebody at Bedford Hospital to look me in the eye with a bit of compassion.
And they won't?
No. They've never actually offered us a meeting. They've never actually offered us to sit down over a table and discuss the points that I originally raised. How was this allowed to happen? How were the numerous failings allowed to happen?
And is it right? I'm just reading this now. They lost Dad's possessions as well.
Yeah, they weren't difficult to lose, Iain. They were in a navy blue and green, bright coloured Suzuki motorcycle backpack.
Yeah.
Not a plastic green hospital bag that everyone's goes in. My brother took his motorcycle backpack in to put them all in because he thought it'd be easier to transport him if he was going from a different ward. So...
Donna, I'm going to let you go because I can see you're really upset and I don't want to push it anymore, but really sorry that your dad went. I'm really sorry that this has happened because this is just awful. And
I just need to highlight this to everybody out there and just say, if your experience is bad, don't think that you can't challenge these people, because the more people that challenge them, something might be done.
She did well, didn't she? She's good. Donna, really nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. Let's see if we still got travel. Yeah, I think we might have.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's a lane blocked on the M25 clockwise between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield because a lorry's broken down. In Aston Clinton on the A41 there's a lane closed eastbound between Woodlands roundabout and the Marsworth turn-off because of an accident. And into Watford, looking at the speed sensors on Pinner Road, that's looking very slow around the A11 Lower High Street. In Mill Hill, the A1 Watford Way is looking very slow as well from the A41 at the Apex corner towards Mill Hill Circus. And looking at the train departure boards, no major delays showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much indeed. Right, it's 8:18. Let's get your headlines. Bedford Hospital has apologised unreservedly for the distress caused to the family of an elderly man who died there. And party leaders on Milton Keynes Council meet this morning to try to agree a new budget.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Cheeky clear of the throat.
I pressed the button over here that we had installed years ago.
Off button?
Yes, we had it installed for anyone on this side of the desk to have a little cough.
Okay, well press it again and cough. So you, we can still hear you. Literally no effect.
It doesn't work.
Literally no effect.
It doesn't work.
You're. Are they eating? Hang on. Are you eating? What you got? No. Sorry, you eating?
They actually said on my way in, take your time with Iain this morning. I've got an egg McMuffin to eat.
Turn the fire off.
What did you say?
Turn the fire off.
Oh, I thought you said something much worse than that. Thank you. Does he not get fries when he gets these?
No, or hash browns.
Just indeed.
Why are you eating all this?
Because it's Friday and I'm feeling good to be alive.
Mm.
Do you want a bit of my bacon, egg and cheese bagel?
No, thank you.
Good. Correct answer. What's on your show this morning?
Coming up on the Big Phone In this morning from 9, how would you like this country to stand up to President Putin? Last week, our RAF fighter planes were scrambled after Russian Bear bombers were seen flying off the Cornish coast.
Yeah, I know, and no one else seemed bothered. They were over Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago, and then this one the other week. And I was mentioning it to that lot in there, so... Russian bombers are flying over our airspace.
Absolutely outrageous. David Cameron has said he won't dignify the incident with a response.
Oh, for goodness sakes!
However, the House of Lords EU committee has accused Britain of sleepwalking into a crisis with Russia, arguing we've completely misread the character of the leadership in the Kremlin.
Yep.
And the President of the European Council has called on David Cameron to do more to discuss how the European Union should respond to the ongoing violence in East Ukraine. The Lords Committee has now published a report to say Britain has not been active or visible enough in dealing with the situation. Well, from 9 this morning, I want us to debate this. We'll, of course, have expert analysis as well, but I want your reaction to this. How would you like this country to stand up to President Putin?
You say to him, the next time you're playing... Right, you've had 2 free passes. Next time your plane's coming out of our airspace, we're shooting them down.
Ooh.
Yeah, totally.
Tough talking from you.
You can't let him get away with it. You've seen what he's done in the Ukraine. Just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. He'll do that to us.
He's clearly trying to stick a finger up our nose.
What a funny turn of phrase.
But he is, isn't he? He's kind of doing that. Yeah.
I think he's doing that more.
Well, he might be doing that as well.
Yeah.
But it's clearly... You don't fly Russian bombers over Cornwall unless you are in some way trying to make a statement.
He's intimidating us, and you've had 2 free passes. Next time we're going to shoot them down. It's our territory. We're allowed to.
But David Cameron has said... We won't dignify that with a response.
Oh, what? For goodness sake, we're not in the school playground. He's not just sent us a note saying that we stink.
From 9 this morning, I'd like your reaction to this. How would you like this country to stand up to President Putin? 08459 455 555. Your call from 9.
They can sign up to the armed forces, but can't control who decides on defence policy.
You expect to do all of these adult things, so why can't you vote as an adult as well?
16-year-olds seem to understand politics, but should they have a say in the future of the country?
At the age of 16, you're mature, you're making adult decisions, and there's so much else to it in life.
Later this morning, I'll be joined by 2 16-year-olds to debate whether they think the voting age should be lowered.
Yes, I would vote if the age was lowered, as I feel it is important to take part in a democracy that could lead to large changes within the country.
We'll hear both sides of the argument and hopefully come to a conclusion.
You don't wake up suddenly at the age of 18 and understand the government, understand political political parties, understand the world.
Listen to it all and have your say. This morning from 9, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
08459 455 555.
What?
You're chomping away. I've not had a chance to. I've not had a chance to chomp on mine.
Do you want me to do this bit?
Well, no, I'll do it, but then, have we got any texts?
Probably.
17 years ago, Amanda Steele was sleeping rough. Not laughing at that bit. Wouldn't that be appropriate? Inappropriate. 17 years ago, this girl was sleeping rough. No, I was laughing at your ineptitude. 17 years ago, Amanda Steele was sleeping rough when a couple of 30-somethings offered her a place to stay with them in Abbots Langley. Sounds a bit dodgy-bodsky. Wasn't. Turns out they were just a really nice couple who wanted to help somebody who was down on their luck. Well, Amanda kind of left in a bit of a hurry. Doesn't remember their names. Doesn't remember exactly where they live. But she wants to thank this couple. She wants to find them and say, well done, thank you very much, I really appreciate it. I've turned my life around now. Well, Catherine, Paul Scoins and myself took Amanda to Abbots Langley, and we ended up having a little wander around. Here we go.
Ooh, exciting.
This is interesting. These are flats directly opposite.
They were a yellow brick, not red.
OK, we're looking for a yellow brick. OK, that's fine. Bungalows. Now, that's the second street that we went up, just over there. That's where we spoke to that lady.
Yes.
You getting anything?
No. I wonder if it was on a... I don't know.
Have a little think. What are you thinking?
I need a new brain, obviously. Oh, there's another ginnel down the side there, though.
Shall we have a look?
Yeah.
Why not? Now, we're at a very specific green grass triangle. Anything? No. I think maybe we've come too far then.
Possibly. No, because it was a nice area. Maybe it was one of these, but I just don't remember which one.
So we ended up drawing a bit of a blank, didn't we, Amanda?
Yep.
But you felt like we were in the right area, so that was Balmoral Drive, wasn't it?
Balmoral Road, yes.
Okay. It's really tough, though. Let's just go back, just for in case anyone missed the story. This was 17 years ago.
Yeah.
You were having a hard time.
Yeah.
Which adds to the hazy memory. Flipping heck, I wasn't having a hard time and I lived somewhere else, and I was looking at it on Google Maps the other day and I couldn't work out which way I was going or anything like that. So, you're having a hard time. So it's all a bit hazy. Well, how can people help you?
If anybody just knows anything about, the couple that lived there, that lived just off Balmoral Road, or, just if they know anything about it at all, they could help me just say thank you. It would be amazing.
We were looking for a couple who lived in a ground floor flat in Abbots Langley.
Yeah.
17 years ago.
Yes. And they were just lovely people. They were working people. They worked in the city. And
it all sounds a bit vague.
It is.
Because you are quite vague, aren't you, Amanda? Let's be honest. When we met you, you were quite vague.
I don't remember. The worst thing is I still don't remember anything.
No.
Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I do remember stuff, but it's not any of the stuff I want to remember.
Well, listen, we made a little film that's been seen quite a few thousand times, and thank you to everybody who is sharing it on Facebook and Twitter. Loads of people are sharing it, and all we need is just that one. We just need a tiny little bit of luck. That's it. We just need the right person to see it.
Because what happened was, one day, after 3 or 4 weeks of staying with this couple, you got picked up by the police and taken home.
Yes.
And that was the last you ever saw of them. They wouldn't have known what happened to you, we don't think.
No, I don't think they do know anything at all, and
So that will be something they're carrying, 17 years on, what happened to you. They obviously thought something of you. You lived with them for 3 to 4 weeks. You pulled your weight. You were not sort of sponging off them. You were working, to make sure that they didn't regret that decision.
Yeah. So it's just...
It's a tough one, Amanda. And listen, I'm sure they will be delighted to know that you've turned your life round and you've got a boy who sounds like a right pain in the neck, but...
As he should be.
As he should be. Well, is he 13?
He's 13, yeah.
And you sound like you're doing a cracking job. You've turned your life around is the kind of basic thing.
Yeah.
Keep in touch with us. If you remember anything else... then let us know.
It may be that this couple are listening and they don't want publicity.
Yeah, which is
So
fine.
If they were listening now, what would you like to say to them?
Thank you. Absolutely thank you. I don't even know where I would have been without that help. And when I look around at what I've got now, and you know, the life that I've got now, and the friends that I've got now, and you know, the family I've got now, none of that would have been possible if I hadn't have had that help.
And here's the thing as well: if you are listening and you don't want to be on the radio, it's fine. You can still give us a call, and you don't come on the radio.
We'll just put you in touch.
We'll put you in touch. You know, once we suss out that you're genuine, we'll put you in touch. We don't need to make a big song and dance about it. We can give a sly wink to the audience if we need to, and that's it. So if you don't want to come on the air, if you're private people for whatever reasons, absolutely fine. We just want this to be resolved, really.
Yeah.
Amanda, listen, we will speak to you again. We will keep in touch, and thank you. If you want to see the video, it's at 3CRK, at Iain Lee, facebook.com/BBC3CR. Just keep sharing it, even if you've got no connection. Just keep sharing it, and hopefully someone will see it.
We'll keep in touch, Amanda.
Amanda, it was so nice to meet you the other day.
It was lovely to meet you too.
And we will speak again soon, I'm sure.
Hey, wasn't that breakfast bat lovely?
Hey, she didn't. What did you have, Amanda?
I had carrot cake.
Yeah, you
but
square.
I had the breakfast.
The breakfast bat was awesome.
I know. I think we should go again.
Amanda, nice to speak to you. Nice to meet you, and we'll speak to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Take care. Thank you very much.
So seriously, if you would share that, it's not for our aggrandisement or anything like that.
Hey, listen, it would be nice for us and the listener to have a conclusion on the radio. That would be great. But that's not the main thing. If you don't want to come on the radio, that's fine. Just you can email me, actually, ian.lee@bbc.co.uk, or give us a call, or whatever.
And I think we've all had moments in our lives where we thought, you know what, I wish I'd have said that to that person back then, and the moment's gone. Well, in this case, we can help her sort that out.
Thank you very much.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Aston Clinton on the A41 Aston Clinton bypass, there's a lane closed because of an accident eastbound between the Woodlands roundabout and the Marsworth turnoff. On the Pinner Road into Watford, that's looking very slow on the speed sensors by the Bushy Arches. And in Mill Hill on the A1 Watford Way, that's very slow from the Apex corner towards the Broadway at Mill Hill Circus. On the A405 North Orbital Road, that's also looking very busy around the M25 junction 21A roundabout. And on the M25 clockwise, there's still a lane blocked between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield because of a broken down lorry. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30 with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. Health bosses have apologised for the unacceptable treatment of an elderly man who died at Bedford Hospital. 82-year-old Edward McCaverley, passed away in October last year after being admitted with pneumonia and renal failure following a fall. Peers have accused British and European diplomats of sleepwalking into the crisis in Ukraine. A Lords EU committee report found there'd been a catastrophic misreading of the mood in Moscow. Party leaders on Milton Keynes Council meet this morning to try to agree a new budget. The plans by the Labour administration for £22 million of cuts were rejected by the Conservatives and Liberal Democrats on Wednesday night. Police are appealing for witnesses after a man was beaten unconscious in Dunstable in the early hours of last Friday morning. He was attacked by a group of 12 men in the Woodside Industrial Estate on Ayncourt Road. Bedfordshire Police say it was a particularly horrible and completely unprovoked attack. And the RAC Foundation has claimed that motorists who were given parking tickets on private land may be in line for compensation worth tens of millions of pounds. Research for the RAC says the penalties are unenforceable, extravagant and out of proportion to any losses suffered.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England's cricketers suffered their second defeat of the World Cup as they were embarrassed by New Zealand in Wellington. England were bowled out for just 123 as Tim Southee took 7 wickets. New Zealand then needed just 74 balls to wrap up an 8-wicket victory. Their captain Brendan McCullum scored the fastest World Cup 50. He made 77 off 25 balls. Captain Owen Morgan made a slight improvement on his awful recent form with 17 runs. but says despite losing their opening 2 games, he hasn't changed his mind on believing England can reach the quarter-finals.
No, absolutely not. I've always said that it would be a tough ask our first 2 games against the 2 tournament favourites, but given that where we want to be, our first goal is the quarter-finals, that's certainly still at the forefront of our ambition.
Liverpool captain Steven Gerrard says striker Mario Balotelli disobeyed team orders when he took the penalty in their 1-0 Europa League victory over Besiktas last night. Balotelli took the ball from the stand-in skipper Jordan Henderson after the spot kick was awarded late in the game. Gerrard, who was working as a TV pundit, said the Italian had been both disrespectful and mischievous. Elsewhere, Celtic came from 2-0 down to draw 3-3 at home to Inter Milan. Everton also came from behind as they beat Young Boys 4-1 in Switzerland. Tottenham and Fiorentina drew 1-1 at White Hart Lane. In golf, Tiger Woods' indefinite break from the sport will take in next week's PGA Tour Honda Classic. The 39-year-old said last week that he was taking time out from the sport in order to work on his game after another injury scare and poor form, but hoped to play at Palm Beach. And the weather forecast today will be a bright and mainly dry day with spells of hazy sunshine, but it will feel chilly. Winds will be light, highs of 7 Celsius, that's 45 in Fahrenheit. BBC Three Counties Radio News and Sport. I'm back with a full bulletin at 9.
I may go out tomorrow if I can borrow a coat to wear. Oh, I'd step out in style with my sincere smile and my dancing bear. Outrageous, alarming, courageous, charming. Oh, who could think a boy and bear could be well accepted everywhere? It's just amazing how fair people can be. Seeing at the nicest places where well-fed faces all stop to stare. Making the grandest entrances, Simon Smith and his dancing bear. They love us, won't they? They feed us, don't they? Oh, who would think a boy and bear could be well accepted everywhere? It's just amazing how fair people can be. Attraction everywhere would be Simon Smith and his dancing bear. It's Simon Smith and the amazing dancing bear.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. Amazing, charming, amazing, charming. Man, we are going to have so much fun on Sunday.
Yes, can I just say good morning to Lita, a big Luton Town supporter who works at the club. That is her favourite song of all time.
Lovely Lita, Mita maid.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be really good fun, and I would really love to be invited.
Justin, can I sit next to you? Can I bag you the seat next to you?
Yeah, just behave yourself.
All right then. Do you want? I'll hold the popcorn.
Yeah.
You hold my hot dog. I'll hold the popcorn.
Is this on? Can I come?
We're going to have what?
I want to come with you.
No, mate. We are going to have so much fun. 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 We are going to have. You're coming, Kels?
Yeah, if you want me to, I will.
Yes, I do, matey.
I thought there's no girls allowed.
Well, Kelly's not technically a girl.
Can I sit the other side of dealing?
Of course you can. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be a lot of fun. Laura is coming, although Laura's been a bit quiet on the phones. I'm guessing she's doing her makeup. And I have got printed off by Balcony Shirts some excellent T-shirts. The design Justin Dealey's 50 Shades of Mayhem, Sunday the 22nd of February 2015. And yours has got J-Dog on the back.
Yes!
There's one with Boss.
He'll still have the templates. I could just buy my own.
There's one for D-Dog, for Dennis. And there's one for Dave Luton. Dave Luton.
He's not going to wear, so...
No.
He's going to... Call me Dave?
He's going to wear... Can we get Dave Luton on the telephone, please? Because he is going to wear this.
You know he's listening.
Dave Luton!
Come on, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Dave is... Come on, Dave. Come on.
Give us a call, Dave.
Come on, David.
Because we don't like phoning callers and pretending they phoned us.
We don't do that, but we can do it this time. He is hiding under the sofa, scared. Dave.
Hello, Dave. Mr. Davalina, Mr. Bob Davalina, Mr. Davalina, Mr. Bob Davalina.
Zilch, China Clipper calling Alameda. China Clipper calling Alameda.
Zilch,
China Clipper calling Alameda.
Self-defense. Never mind the furthermore, the plea is self-defense. Never mind the furthermore, the plea is self-defense.
It is of my opinion that the people are intending. It is of my opinion that the people are intending. It is of my opinion that the people are intending. It is of my opinion that the people are intending. It is of my opinion that the people are. It is of my opinion that it is of my people that the Timothy.
Never mind the furthermore, the plea is
It is my opinion that the people are intending. It is my opinion that the people are intending. It is my opinion that the people are intending. It is my opinion that the people are intending.
China Clipper calling Alameda. China Clipper calling Alameda. China Clipper calling Alameda. China Clipper calling Alameda.
And people think that I'm crazy.
Dave? Dave?
Come on, Dave.
Right, we think Dave's on line one,
Well,
right?
here's his phone number. He answered but didn't say anything.
Right, so Dave's on line one listening to us, Justin.
Yep.
And he's there because I can hear the echo, right? He says he's not coming Sunday. I've spent £10 on a T-shirt for him.
Yep.
You've been taking this to the streets, Justin.
I've arranged the tickets as well. I mean, the whole idea of this was to do something slightly different. Of course, every single radio station have been talking about the film 50 Shades of Grey. One cinema told me this week, normally they get 6,000 people a week going to that particular cinema. This week, 16,000. So we thought we'd take some men, a bit like Dave in Luton.
Yeah.
Now, Dave
who's on the other line but isn't speaking,
gone all egotistical on us. So 2 weeks ago, Dave said, yeah, I'm definitely up for that, boss. I'm going to be there. The T-shirts have been printed. The tickets have been arranged. Now he's saying he can't go. I've taken the T-shirt onto the streets this morning, my particular branded T-shirt. I've been getting reaction to that. I've also been getting reaction to the fact that Dave has been leading on the people of Beds, Herts and Bucks disgracefully.
Yep.
Here's what the people of Luton, his town, have had to say.
He's been a flick tease, hasn't he?
He has.
He said he was going to go to the flicks.
Yep.
And he says he's not going. Flick tease.
It's what people want. People want Dave to go to give the geezer's perspective of this particular movie.
What did the people on the streets have to say, Just?
He got tents out there. Here's what happened.
Well, that's the person that hasn't got any morals or scruples. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I think he's. If he said he's going to go, he should go. Everyone's gone to a lot of time, effort, money, and trouble to do it, and he just shouldn't back out now. He should go ahead and do what he said he's going to do. Yeah, he's letting everybody down, family, friends, and the people who've gone to all the trouble to make this work for him. You know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, so there we are. It's his loss.
Madam, do you like my T-shirt?
Filthy shades of what? Mayhem.
Look, 50 Shades of Mayhem, not filthy shades of mayhem. It is going to be filthy, though. Thank you, madam. Read my T-shirt, boss.
50 Shades of Mayhem.
How much?
What? No, I'm not selling them.
No money.
Oh, well, they've done me in the past. No, to me, they're not friends. No, they're not friends.
Why has he changed his mind, though?
Just because he has.
Well,
I suppose it's his decision. If he wants to change his mind, then, you know, and doesn't want to go, then it's up to him.
Madam, you seem like a very decent person. Would you let people down?
Well, not if I've made a promise, though. If I promised to do something. If something came up and I couldn't do it, then obviously, you know, I wouldn't. But I would do my utmost to, you know, if I promised to do something, go ahead and do it.
So you're looking pretty street.
Yeah, I'm looking street.
Yeah. Is that T-shirt got street cred?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, fury. Unbridled fury there.
Let me just tell you again that some of the pieces that I recorded this morning, I couldn't broadcast.
Hey, mate, I'm sorry you have to deal with this kind of stuff.
It's okay.
You shouldn't have to deal with this kind of stuff. You should just, you know, be able to rock out and do your job, mate.
Thanks.
Outrageous. I mean, it is... Catherine, I know you're not coming, and that's great.
Well, no, I can. I'm available.
Let's park that. Let's park that, and we'll look at that again on Monday.
I'm available on Sunday.
Okay. But Dave...
I'll bring my own T-shirt. I'll make a T-shirt.
No, mate. But Dave letting the listeners down and the public down like that is...
Well, now you're pleased to put the phone down.
You know, Ian, a lot of people ask me on the streets, Dave in Luton, is he a real person? Well, he is a real person.
Oh, that's made me laugh.
But again...
Sadly, he is.
We think
he is.
Hey, maybe that's why he doesn't want to come.
Possibly.
Because maybe it's Mike Yarwood.
Mike Yarwood's dead, isn't he?
All right, maybe it's Joe Brown. Joe Brown?
You mean Joe Pasquale? No, Joe Longthorne.
Yeah, him.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Jude Brown.
He's put the phone down. I can tell he's put the phone down, and Kelly is trying to call him, and he's not answering it again.
Maybe he's on his way down here with a tenner.
Quite possibly. I mean, should we give out some public information?
Let's give out his phone number and his address.
That's all going round there.
Just before we get an Ofcom and I get another complaint upheld against me, is this bullying of an old man?
No, because he said he was going to go. 5:40 this Sunday. Obviously, we've got some passes. We've got some T-shirts made up. One of those, of course, was for Dave in Luton.
Yeah, we've not got passes for you guys.
No, we haven't. So, but if you want to go, it's 5:40, Cineworld in Luton. We're going to be there. Obviously, we can't buy you tickets, but if you want to come along and enjoy our evening, our 50 Shades of Mayhem, obviously book your own tickets. We're going to be there.
Sounds good. I'm in.
You're not. We've not spoken to Dennis Dunstable either.
No, he's definitely going. When you were off this week, we spoke to him. Yeah, he's definitely going to be there in a velour tracksuit.
Oh.
Well, I've got his T-shirt, so I'm assuming we'll get to see him in his vest at some point. Justin, excellent stuff. What's happening on your show tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow on the show, we have the UK and American charts from this weekend in 1979 and some random requests from the streets of Watford this week. So tomorrow between 12 and 2. Don't miss it.
Always a good listen. Right, let's get the travel.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Marston Mortain on the A421, that's been partially blocked by an accident at the junction for Beancroft Road involving two vans that have also stopped there to assist, making it hard to get past. In Aston Clinton on the A41 Aston Clinton bypass, there's a lane closed to eastbound between the Woodlands roundabout and the Marsworth turnoff, making it very slow there too. And into Watford on Pinner Road, that's looking very busy on the speed sensors at the Bushy Arches. On the M25 clockwise, there's a lane blocked at junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield because a lorry's broken down. Looking at the train departure boards, no major delays showing up on those at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Sammy. Blimey, look at the time. It's 8:45. It's Friday, the 20th of February. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines. On BBC Three Counties Radio, health bosses have apologised for the unacceptable treatment of an elderly man who died at Bedford Hospital. And police are appealing for witnesses after an 85-year-old cyclist was knocked off his bike in a collision with a car in Denham in Buckinghamshire. 08459 455 555. 15 minutes if you want to get your phone call in. Let's get the weather. Here's Wendy.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello there. Well, we've got largely dry conditions out there at the moment. There's a little hint of brightness through the cloud as well. And long may it continue. That's what we're hoping is going to happen anyway, because we've had a bit of a forecasting nightmare through the week with a low pressure system looking like it's going to push some rain north, but just how northerly it gets, well, that's been the question. And there's still some uncertainty. We could start to see a little bit of rain around lunchtime up into southernmost parts of Hertfordshire in particular, but I think most of us will see that it stays much further south and we will have a dry day today with some sunny spells from time to time, and temperatures in Luton, for example, getting to 7 degrees. Through the evening and overnight, the breeze will pick up a little bit. There'll be clear sky at first and temperatures will fall to around 2 degrees. They're perfect conditions for the showers showing up and turning a little wintry later on in the night. So there might be a little bit of sleet and wet snow over the Chilterns in particular into the early hours of the morning, but nothing much is going to settle. They won't be too much of a problem and they should fizzle out through the day tomorrow. So Saturday looking the better of the 2 days over the weekend. Largely dry, some sunny spells, just the risk of a shower. But for Sunday, after a dry start, it will begin to cloud over and through the afternoon the rain will set in. Some of that's looking heavy. The wind will increase as well, and then we're in for a blustery start to next week.
50 shares of my hand.
Every weekday morning.
Let me get on with your consumer problems.
Should I expect it to last as a £350 TV or a £250 TV?
Jonathan Vernon Smith.
Have you gone back to the retailer? I went and spoke to the company that you'd paid the money to.
The JVS show fights for your rights and tackles your consumer problems.
So I emailed again and reminded them of the statutory rights, which I've heard in your programme.
If you need our help, email jvsshow@bbc.co.uk.
They've backed down and they have put in writing to me that I no longer owe the money.
And we could do the same for you.
That's fantastic news. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Your team is fantastic because you look after the people.
The JVS show, weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'm sorry, this is my favourite thing.
50 shares of my hand.
Well, that's... Hang on, one more.
50 shares of my hand.
Well done, that man.
But what does Scotland say, guys? What does Scotland... Sorry? Oh! The Scotch don't mind, do they? Do they?
Tony does.
Morning, Tony.
He says Dave Luton is very much like the kid that's been invited to a ski slope party and then decides to go to his granny's instead. Sue his backside off and go to the papers with the story. Man declined kind offer of a free day out.
Yeah, and it's cost me money. Tenner that T-shirt cost me. Well, we'll slip an invoice into his back pocket and his mum can pay.
Sarah says...
And it's funny because you can't normally keep him off the air.
No.
Phones up every day and we kind of say, well, maybe not today, Dave. And today, when we want to get hold of him, we can't. He's running scared.
The man has literally gone to ground.
I hope it's...
behind the sofa on his belly.
I hope it's not going to be like that woman that Sky hounded. What was her name?
Oh, no, don't.
No, I hope it's not going to be like that. Blimey, we'd be in a terrible state.
Ev's been on.
Yes.
Ev in Luton, who we all know
Morning,
is
Ev.
a man.
Morning, Ev. Eveline.
What does it stand
Everard.
for? Everard. What does it stand for, Ev? It might be. Don't laugh. It might be. It's a perfectly nice name. It's a bit like the dad who got an invoice for not taking the child to the birthday party. Dave said he would go and knew you were spending money. I think he could at least come to the studio and say, sorry, I know what's happened. His missus has found out.
Yay.
Oh, Dave.
Someone who is coming, it's the D-Dog.
That's you, Dennis.
That's you, Dennis.
I'm a D-Dog. I'm a D-Dog. Yes, sure, fine.
You've got a T-shirt, sir.
Yeah,
printed up.
Just a minute.
That says D-Dog.
Ian.
Will you fit into a large?
Yes.
It might be a bit... Are you a fat fella?
Rather plump, yeah.
Well, it's going to be snug.
Well, that's okay. If it strangles me, I'll have to do...
We'll all be happy.
No, then, just a minute, Ian.
Yes.
I totally disagree with that, Steve, about the hospitals. He's never been to a hospital lately, so he doesn't know what it's like.
This was an hour and a half ago, Steve, saying that there were too many immigrants over here. That's why the hospitals...
No. I'm sorry, he's wrong.
I know he's wrong.
He talks about black and white, but no, with 50 Shades of Brown, for God's sake.
Hey! You put it... What's that song? What's that song, Catherine? You put it... You add a little Indian, get a bit of Chinaman, you mix it all together.
There's no such thing as black and white. I'm not white and you're not black.
No, what's the
I'm
song?
nearly blue.
What's the song?
What is that? I don't know.
08459 455.
Yes, white. The ball.
No, it's not that.
To
Get it? No, it's not that.
To read out.
It's not that. It's not. Do you know the song, Dennis? You
No, I
get a
don't,
bit
but,
of Indian, put a bit of Chinaman, get a bit of black man, add a bit of white man.
It's like a terrible experiment.
08459 455 555. Yes, Dennis.
I'm saying goodbye now if I don't survive that film on
Listen,
Sunday night.
if you can I ask a serious question? This is a serious question, Dennis.
Yes, certainly.
If you do die during 50 Shades of Grey,
You saved 10 quid.
well, can I? Do you want us to resuscitate you, or do we let you pass naturally?
Oh, no. Keep me going.
Okay, hang on a minute. Lynn's on the line. Go on, Lynn.
Good morning.
What's that song?
Oh, I haven't got a clue.
Oh,
I just phoned in to say, would Kelly like to go on Sunday? Because I'd like to go.
What?
Kelly.
Kelly's coming.
Oh, Catherine, I mean.
No, Catherine's not coming.
Oh.
Lynn, you're more than welcome to come along.
Yes, I'd love to.
I want to go.
Oh, come on, let's have a girlies one as well.
Yeah. We can sit behind the boys and throw things at their heads.
You better not sit in front.
Why not?
Well, somebody might be poking you in the back, I don't know.
Right, Dennis, thank you, Dennis. That's a red card. Lynn, as long as you're not sat there flicking stuff at us.
Well, I was thinking of the popcorn, really.
Okay, well, as long as it's just the popcorn.
Stop!
Hang on a second. Carlo.
Hello, mate. How are
Do you know that song?
Yes, mate. It's Melting Pot by Blue Mink.
Find it, please, Kelly. Blue, how does it go?
Take a pinch of white man, wrap him up in black skin, add a little bit of blue blood, and that's all I know of it, mate, I'm afraid.
It's something I don't know, because basically it's saying, look, hey, we're all the same, let's all love each other. You know, it's an anti-racism song, but I think it might be a little bit racist now.
Why? Because it mentions colours.
Well, I don't know. It was a weird... Was it... But Blue Mink, did they have any other hits, Carlo?
Yes, they did, but I can't remember it.
Okay, well, next week, but thank you, Carlo. Excellent call. Next week, we will be having a Blue Mink week. Hats off to Blue Mink. Take a bit of Chinaman, add a bit of Indian. Sorry?
I'm going to get it for you now.
I'm doing
it. But I have no lyrics for it, so...
It's a song about racial harmony, mate.
Can you take full responsibility if it's swearing?
Unless you're a racist, mate, then I don't see what your beef is.
It's on 25 years of rock and roll. It doesn't say 25 years of racist rock and roll, which it would, of course, wouldn't it?
Hey, are we looking into that concert that might be happening nearby?
Chaz and Dave?
No, remember we got that email about... should we have a look into that?
Yeah.
Look, I thought we emailed that at the weekend and no one's looked into it. Let's mention that today. Because that'll be an interesting story if that's happening. Ooh, on-air produzione.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Have
you gone, Dennis? Yeah,
Yeah, because he was filthy.
Have you gone, Lynn?
Shades of
No,
grey.
I'm still here.
What are you Oh, flip it. What are you doing?
I'm just waiting for the arrangements on Sunday. What time are we going to be there?
Right, Catherine's not going. It's the It's the 5:40 screening at Cineworld in Luton.
Right, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And so you'll be there?
I will.
Okay, we look forward to it.
All right then, see you then.
Here we go.
Take a pinch of white man, wrap it up in black skin, add a touch of blue blood, and a little bitty bit of red Indian boy.
Curly black and king kiss, mixed with yellow chinky.
There we go, you see. I knew there were... OK, fine. There we go, you see. Okie dokie. It turns out you can't play that song anymore. I humbly apologise.
Carlo, why didn't you... Carlo's fault.
Carlo's fault. Do you know what? OK, well, the intention was good. The way it was phrased was very, very poor. On a serious note, if anybody was offended by that, then you have my sincerest apologies.
Sorry.
I didn't know it was going to go that way. At least we know... Turn that off. At least we know you can't play that song anymore. So that's something we've learned. If anybody was offended, you know it's never our intention to offend anybody on this show. So you have our humblest apologies. Genuinely very, very sorry about that. And we're just going to make sure that gets deleted.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
That's okay. Well, that's okay. Don't worry. Have we got any texts?
Yes.
Yay.
Barbara in Hitchin again didn't
calling for us to be taken off air.
Iain, that song is still playing, by the way.
It's gone. It's gone.
Barbara in Hitchin, Sarah, Dave from Tottenham, and Neil. Thank you for telling us what the song was. No thanks for not warning us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Just going to put a warning on Twitter. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
Anything we can read?
Yes. Sarah, I went to see 50 Shades of Grey. Imagine that being the safer option to talk about 50 Shades of Grey. With my husband, who is grey, and I am 50, so I'm calling it a 50-year-old and a grey. By the way, it was okay and not that rude.
Well,
Sounds a slightly disappointed Sarah.
Well, I've booked a hotel room for afterwards. I was thinking of having an after-show party. I'm genuinely...
No, best not. I think you should go home and think about what you have done today.
I can't.
Can I distance myself away from the whole entire show?
You were the one that got the song out.
Hey.
Thank you, Scott, for highlighting some of the phrases that we can't say anymore. Yep, we've spotted that one, particularly the second one. That was the one that got us. Well, I look forward to appearing in a local newspaper again. Oh, dearie me. Genuinely very, very sorry. I didn't know it was going there at all, and so very, very sorry about that. That was... you could... it's a different world, isn't it?
Hey, Russia, eh? We've got a tweet here, text here. Russian bombers might be surveying Bournemouth with the aim of oil barons snapping up desirable properties on the seafront, says Peter in Letchworth, rather hopefully.
Yep, could be.
No, they use Google Maps.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Too expensive.
Yep. I'm just scared to open my mouth anymore.
Wasn't you that said it?
What was she rhyming with?
Well, no, let's not go there.
Let's not. We're not dwelling. We're not even going anywhere near that in the slightest at all. Well, that was a lot of fun, and I look. If you want to complain, 08459 455 555. You start calling in about 2 minutes' time. My name is Jonathan Vernon Smith, and I'll be on air after 9, handling all of your complaints about the last hour of the show.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
So, on the M25 clockwise, there's a lane closed because a lorry's broken down between junction 24 for Potterspar and 25 for Enfield. On the A421 in Marston Mortain, that's partially blocked by an accident at Beancroft Road. And the A41 in Aston Clinton, that's all now reopened after the accident has been cleared between the Woodlands roundabout and the Marsworth turnoff. In Watford, looking at the speed sensors on Beecham Grove, that's looking very slow around Escort Road. And no major problems showing up on the trains at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you so much, Sammy. That's it. That's your lot. There's a new podcast coming up in a few hours' time. They're only up for 30 days, so get them while they're hot and indeed fresh. Don't forget facebook.com/BBC3CR or facebook.com/Iain Lee. Go and have a look at that video of Amanda and see if you can help. Thank you, everybody. Back on Monday at 6. Until then, from us, ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon Smith. It's Friday. And on today's Big Phone In, how would you like this country to stand up to President Putin? Thousands of people in